brain and your bones and your DNA and your bone marrow that you can't even be grateful when the president's life has been saved? You know, President Trump has had more assassination attempts on him than all of the other presidents combined. All of them. If I were to make a list, I would. It would be hard for me to make a complete list because there's been so many we've forgotten. We've got 3 Iranian attempts, the sniper's nest that they found at the airport here in Florida. Remember, they found a device a few months ago on the route. There was that guy that drove down from the Carolinas a few months ago and made it onto the Mar-a-Lago. That's 6 right there. The golf course, Butler. During the first campaign, there was a guy that I think it was at a Vegas rally that got in with a gun. I mean, we're like 7, 8, just right there. The White House Correspondents' event. That was another assassination attempt. There was another assassination attempt a couple weeks ago in front of the White House. Remember this, where the reporter was live on TV. What's that? What's going on? I mean, that's like 10 right there, just off the top of my head. So those of you that oppose President Trump, those are your people. Those are your people. And, you know, the people on the left, what they say is, they say 2 things. It didn't happen. Even the ones we've seen, it didn't happen. They tell us Butler didn't happen. We all saw it live, right? Yeah. Or they think to themselves, well, he is bombing Iran. All right, now, it is Friday, which means open phones. Open Mag and Mike Friday. You're welcome to call in about any and everything you want. The radio show will start in about 10 minutes, so I'll take some calls now. And when the radio show begins, which will be about 8 to 10 minutes, I'll go through the details of the Iranian assassination plot that was foiled by the Jews, which I'm very grateful to the Israelis. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
Couple comments, okay? If this isn't a declaration of war on the United States by the Iranian government, this is not, no. This is their parliament that called for his assassination.
Yeah.
During the funeral, they had all these signs up, and basically, and they're putting up a big money on this situation. I think they're $100 million or something to take out the president. So to me, this is war, and that brings me to this point: how can Pakistan is, to me, they're on the Iranian side. They're not a moderate they have their they're Muslim. They're talking about, let's get back to the negotiation table. How can you negotiate? If President Trump negotiates this, I'm going to tell you, he's got to be back crazy. It's enough for
No, the Iranians got to. The Iranians got to go now. This assassination attempt was a pretty serious one, and that's why they did all this. And I'll tell you this. The thumbnail that I have on the YouTube video is the bravest president ever. Believe me,
absolutely.
Believe me, the military and the Secret Service wanted him to fly out on a stealth bomber or something. They could have put him on any military aircraft and secretly flew him out, and he refused to do so. Even after it became public, he flew on Air Force One. No other president has done anything even close to as brave as that.
No, he's risking. Look, if people out there hate him, you're going to get people, not for nothing. How the man is the president of the United States. I wouldn't care any president, whether it be Obama, who I couldn't stand, whether it be Biden, who was a zombie. If another country threatened his life and wanted to pay a ransom for his head.
Hey, hold on, Richie, while I'm answering all these other lines here on the phones ringing off the hook. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, they could have put him. They could have put him on any military aircraft without anyone's knowledge, and he would have been back at the White House before we knew there was even a problem. But he didn't do that. He flew still on air. And, Turkey borders Iran, and we were bombing them while he flew out. even with this assassination plot. I mean, he is so brave, President Trump. I'm proud of him.
150%, but we can't negotiate anymore
No.
with these people. One other thing I got to tell you, I'm sure, I guess you know about this. Mandani's one of his people, one of the commissioners, or whatever they are.
I'm going to get into that. They were Mamdani's staff was trying to. Mamdani's staff was trying to set up a meeting with the Israeli representative to the United Nations, and the Trump administration put a stop to it. That's a crime. That's a violation of the Logan Act in time of war, which also may be treason. You can't meet with foreign governments in time of war.
No, this was undercutting the United States.
Well, I'll tell you, Richie, this is a big deal. I'm going to get into this again later on the radio, but let me tell you, because of the World Trade Center was attacked twice. Don't forget, right? Because of that, the mayor of New York City, his office and staff get classified information on terrorist activities, and the fact that Mamdani's staff are trying to meet with the highest-ranking Iranian government official, their UN ambassador right now. Were they trying to give them classified intel? What was that about? You know, there's something very fishy with that. Exactly, something very fishy about that. Mm-hmm. At the same time as this assassination plot is foiled.
This is crazy talk here. What do we got in New York City here? Do we have an inside?
Mayor Mamdani and his staff need to be removed from office for this. Think about it. Think about it. What would have happened if the mayor of New York tried to meet with the Taliban during the early days of the war in Afghanistan, or the mayor of New York tried to meet with the Nazi representative during the Second World War? There's something very fishy about all of this, especially with the Muslim connection.
You can't give aid and comfort to the enemy. And if they say this is a declared war, I believe the United States has to declare war on Iran.
We haven't declared war since 1941, man.
But have you had? I wonder if Hitler put a hit on Roosevelt. This is ridiculous. What's going on here? If the American people aren't ticked off about this, this is our president, whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. For another foreign enemy to put a hit out on
it's crazy. All right, Richie, I got to move on, but you can call back. Richie gets the golden ticket. Richie's the only caller. If he calls on the pre-show, can call back on the radio. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Dr. Ken from Jupiter.
Hey, Dr. Ken. What's on your mind?
Hey, I wanted to talk about the impact of what President Trump is doing in Iran from a perspective that I don't think has been brought out.
Okay.
And that is this. The impact of events like 9/11 and October 7th are incredibly traumatic. We will think about them for the rest of our lives and for generations beyond. But the impact of what would have happened had Iran been able to achieve a nuclear warhead, and I'm sure you believe this, they would have used it, would make 9/11 and October 7th pale in comparison. The impact would have been so traumatic.
Well, listen, they tried to
because it didn't happen.
They were trying to kill President Trump just like 2 days ago. So of course they would have used it. Or if they got the material, would have used a dirty bomb somewhere if they didn't have like the official big bomb, right? Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely. What people don't realize is this is the only country that is the same as an Al-Qaeda or an ISIS. They are a terrorist organization. The big advantage they have over normal people like you and I is that they don't care about the consequences. They don't care about dying. They don't care about themselves or others. So that gives them a big advantage. They'll go all out to just totally destroy mankind.
Yes. No, you're correct. I mean, these are evil people. Evil people. The Iranians are behind about 99% of the Islamic terrorism of the last 50 years in the world. It's true.
Absolutely. And, people are criticizing, mainly from the left, but even on the right, what President Trump is doing because it involves bombing. Okay, I get it. But the consequences of what he's doing is so phenomenal. They don't realize it. You cannot bargain with terrorists. People say, well, Obama had an agreement and Trump undid it with Iran. Well, Obama walked away from the bargaining table.
Yes.
sticking his chest out.
Correct.
The Iranians walked away from that same bargaining table with indifference, knowing they had appeased the president that didn't know he was just being appeased.
Correct.
No idea. And the effects of all of this on our economy right now with gas and everything is minuscule. I mean, it's very temporary, and people need to see the overall picture.
Depending on how much you drive, it's $10 to $30 a month for most people. $10 to $30 a month to liberate us from Islamic terrorism for the short period that the gas prices are high. Dr. Ken, the radio show's about to begin in about 30 seconds, so I got to run, but you made some good points. You can call back later if you want during the radio show, okay, since it's the pre-show, because you bring some good points up.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you the golden ticket.
Should I call back again or no?
Yeah, not in 5 minutes, but later in the show, if you want to call back in, you're welcome to. I'll give you the golden ticket for today, just like Richie gets it. All right,
okay,
but
if not, I'll call back next Friday.
Sounds good. Okay, I got to run and stand by. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Well, the Jews have saved the President of the United States' life. Israel foiled an Iranian assassination attempt on President Trump. And all this discussion that was going on the last couple of days about the different Air Force Ones, it was because of this Iranian plot. And I want to go through this article, but this is, I mean, how many, I made a list just off the top of my head without writing them down of 10 assassination attempts against President Trump. And I know that's not even all of them. President Trump has had more assassination attempts on him than all the other presidents combined. Think about that. This attempt by the Iranians this week in Turkey is the third confirmed assassination attempt on President Trump by the Iranians. I know there's more, but those are the three that the president confirms. This is crazy town. And those of you that are never Trumpers, those of you that have some issue with Trump, if you're an American, how can you not be grateful to the Israelis for doing this, saving the life of President Trump? And I'm very grateful, and I know good American people are, but, you know, liberals are pretty soulless these days. But it was a very, very serious plot. And, you know, the Mossad are so embedded all over Iran. They get all kinds of information. I'm going to share this article. I've got a few articles about it. This one is in the Fox News website. Israel shared intelligence indicating Iran had developed a fresh plan to assassinate President Trump. This is according to a Wall Street Journal report yesterday, citing people familiar with the matter. The reported intelligence from Israel would mark an escalation in the long-standing threats against President Trump, who Iran has repeatedly vowed to retaliate against over the 2020 strike that killed Soleimani, their general, who was the general in charge of the global Islamic terrorism. And there's a big article in the Daily Mail about it. Let me pull that one up. We're really in some very frightening times. Really frightening times. If you're on hold, stand by. This is in the Daily Mail. The United States has been shown a new Iranian plot to kill President Donald Trump that was obtained by Israeli intelligence. Trump said that his opponents are crazy, the Iranians, and claimed the Iranians, want to take me out. Details regarding the plot were not revealed, but Trump did speak to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu Thursday. When reached for comment, the White House referred the Daily Mail to Trump's comments at the NATO summit when he was talking about being the number one target. The president said this: "They want to take out the U.S. leader, me. I'm on whatever list. I saw this morning I'm on every single one of their list. And so far, I guess I've been a bit lucky. But maybe that doesn't last very long. These are evil, sick people." The Daily Mail reached out to Netanyahu. His warning came as hardline lawmakers in Tehran, listen to this, Hardline lawmakers in Tehran openly called for missiles to be fired at President Trump's location at the summit, the NATO summit. They talked about it at the funeral as well. You know, President Trump is the toughest and bravest president of the United States this country has ever had. You know, one of the reasons that this military air campaign began a few months ago, it's for a variety of reasons. But one of them is they've been trying to kill him, which is an act of war. If any country tried to kill any president, including any one of the living past presidents, that would be an act of war. And it's important that President Trump take these monsters out, because he can't trust a Democrat who may make their way into office in the future to protect him and his family. The Iranian regime will never stop on their quest to get Trump and his family. Never. It's one of the reasons he did this, and I support it. Just based on that alone, even if they didn't have the nuclear ambitions and all of that, even if they weren't behind all this Islamic terrorism, even if it wasn't for all these other things, the assassination attempts against President Trump alone are reason enough to go to war with Iran. President Trump's so brave. This latest assassination attempt is why there was all the talk about which plane he was going to be on. Do you know what kind of pressure was being put on President Trump by the military and by the Secret Service to secretly be flown out of Turkey? They could have put him on any military aircraft. They could have put him on a stealth bomber, and those stealth bombers, some of them are fitted to have special forces troops in them, and they can be fitted for that on a moment's notice. They could have flown President Trump out on a stealth bomber. No one would have known. We wouldn't have known until he was back home. But President Trump, even though he knew this, said no. And he flew out on Air Force One. Now, they did a bunch of diversionary tactics on which one he was on, but still, Air Force One is Air Force One. And he didn't fly out in secret. You know, the bombing of Iran was going on while he flew out during this whole operation. Can you imagine any other president doing that? No way. No way. Any other president would have flown out in secret on another military aircraft, but not this one. Because he didn't want to give them the upper hand, like he's afraid of them. And it's like when the Never Trumpers shot the president in Butler, he didn't let the Secret Service carry him out and cover him up. He said no. He stood up and he said, "Fight, fight, fight." I got the picture on the wall here. Let me take it off the wall. You know, and what President Trump did with this Iranian plot was the same thing he did in Butler. He got up, put his fist in the air with his face covered in blood, and said, "Fight, fight, fight." And then a couple of months later, he went back to the same spot and had another press conference. That takes a lot of guts. No other president would do something like that. And I promise you, there was major pressure on him not to fly out on Air Force One because it's too high profile, even with the military capabilities of the aircraft, which we don't really know what they are, the old one or the new one, okay? Still, it's a big old plane and a big old target with the big old presidential seal on it, and he still flew out on it when they didn't want him to. I promise you that. And, you know, when the media, they didn't know about the assassination plot, you know, they their Trump derangement syndrome just had them hating on the new Air Force One that was gifted from Qatar. I never hear them complain about France giving us the Statue of Liberty. But now all of a sudden gifts are bad. But they didn't know that there was a real assassination attempt from Iran, and they got on that plane with him. And that's why when they told them to close their shades, they got so nervous because they knew it was a target, Air Force One, and they were on the plane. It terrified them. Now I'm going to take our first break. And remember, it is Friday already. Can you believe it? Friday is open phones on the program. On Friday's show, you're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind. You don't even have to comment on the stories I bring up. The show prep is up to you. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, you're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I want to tell you about the great Mike Lindell and MyPillow. He has an incredible special going on right now for America's 250th anniversary. And with our promo code Kane at checkout, you can save up to 50% off the Made in America products during this special. The mega sale is also going on with huge savings as well. And there's just incredible deals going on right now at mypillow.com. You know, the Mega 2 sale that's happening right now, and it's free shipping on orders that are $100 or more, by the way, with our promo code Kane at checkout. Incredible deals on the Giza Dream Sheets, just $29.98. You know, I have the Giza Dream Sheets. I've slept on them for years. We have them on all our beds. They're made with 100% Giza cotton, and that's the finest cotton in the world. And what these sheets do is so absolutely amazing, okay? No matter what time of year it is, your body temperature is perfectly regulated. So right now, we're in the hot times of the summer, and I'm cool every night, cool and cozy, like I have air conditioning in my bed. I'm never hot at night because of the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. In the winter, they keep us warm and toasty. But you can use our promo code Kane on all these great specials. So go to mypillow.com, free shipping on orders $100 or more. Make sure to use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, for these huge savings. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. We'll be right back. Okay, now, if you're on hold, stand by. I'll take more calls after the break. And I want to announce that Mike Lindell is offering a very, very special sponsorship. He is sponsoring the program. He's sponsoring the early show, the podcast, and we're doing a very special mega sale campaign here on the program. Please let Mike Lindell know that his money's well spent. Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout and call that number on your screen. You can use our promo code on all the specials at mypillow.com. Incredible, incredible deals, all right? And Mike Lindell's always been a supporter of mine and all the content I bring you. And he's been a sponsor of mine for many, many years. And he's not a charity. He does that because you're using the promo code Kane or my phone number there, 800-716-4879. So we're doing an extra promotion this month from him for the Mega 2 sale. So please go check that out at mypillow.com. Use my promo code Kane at checkout. And let Mike Lindell know that you support him by supporting me. All right? Promo code Kane, Kane. All right. So let's see if you're on hold, hang in there. Okay, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and the Mega 2 special is just incredible. Some of the most popular products at mypillow.com are covered by this special, as you'll see when you go there. And I'll play the Mike Lindell commercial that he made for me, and you can see some more of the items. Oh boy, it's free shipping on the mega sale. I didn't realize, so go check that out. All right. Okay, we've got less than a minute and we'll be back. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm going to go to the phones when we get back. The number is 888-465-2631. Brenda, new member to the channel. Welcome, Brenda. Yep. 888-465-2631 is the number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, no matter what your political party affiliation is, any attempt on any president is unacceptable and needs to be condemned in the strongest way.
And is an act of war.
And it's an act of war. Very good point. And we've said this dozens of times, that God's hand of protection is upon President Trump, and we thank him for that, because there's no man that could go through what he has and persevere and still want to be president.
Correct.
He's incredible, Brian, and I believe everything's happening for a reason, and I trust President Trump. I believe that he knows he can't trust Iran, and he's given every opportunity to come around and be part of the world, not
correct.
The terrorist nation has been since '79.
Correct.
So I believe when he's had enough, Iran's going to suffer worse.
Well, he's been bombing the daylights out of them this week, and now that this has gone public,
Yes.
and we hit that nuclear plant. He's going to have to amp up things, and people are demanding it now. I mean, come on, enough. Blow them all up. This is enough.
But he will not target civilians, and that's the difference between us and the terrorists. They target women and children to instill fear. Mm-hmm. We never want to target women and children. The only exception was in Japan, where that's
well, in World War II we did. I mean, we firebombed in Germany and everything else, but we had to. All right, I agree with you, and I appreciate the call, Jeff. Take care. From Maine, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well.
Okay, that's good. Hey, this is Doc from Texas. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, for God's sake, please, I don't know who's in charge of the White House. I know Trump is the president, but get him off that plane and put him on Air Force One, and leave him on Air Force One. Don't put him back on that plane. That plane is not safe for him to fly.
Really? What plane? How do you know?
The Qatar plane, Brian.
How do you know?
If the plane was safe to fly, they would take him. They would leave him on it. I'm agreeing with you.
Do you want to? Are you grateful to the Jews for saving the life of the president?
Brian, I think, to be honest with you, I think Netanyahu is doing that because he's trying to get back at Trump to get graces. That he knows.
Are you grateful to the Israelis for saving the life of the president?
Brian, I'm not grateful. Brian, it is. They did what they were supposed to do.
What are you talking about?
They did.
You're not. Why are you not grateful that they saved President Trump's life?
Brian, if it was true, okay, yeah, I'm grateful. Fine. That's what you want me to say. I'm fine.
Yeah,
okay. I'm moving on.
Yeah, I don't. You're moving on. That sounds like a symbolic. You're not.
Moving on.
Another
thing too.
Wait, before the other thing, because I want to get to the other thing, but. Is it your hatred of Jews or your hatred of Trump that has you unable to be happy?
Why would I hate a Jew, Brian? I don't hate it, and I don't hate Trump. Mm-hmm. I wish Trump all the happiness in the world. I wish he could retire from president and live a good life, go play golf, enjoy his grandchildren. I hope he have a good, successful retirement whenever he.
All right. Well, it's hard to it's hard to retire when you have these Iranians trying to kill you. That's why we're taking them out.
That's that's not the reason. Okay, Brian, that's the reason. I thought
It's
it was,
one of them.
Was for
There's
nuclear.
multiple. There's
For
multiple.
nuclear.
There's multiple
Yeah, you just
reasons.
said.
There's
You said.
multiple
okay.
reasons.
Let me, another thing too. Okay, I know you're not going. It's been all over the news. I just got through hearing about it. ICE agents put body cameras on these guys.
They do have body
Put these
cameras.
guys in
They do have body cameras.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They don't.
Yes,
the
they
guys
do.
The incident happened in Houston didn't have body cameras.
Well,
They
just
all
because
gave
we just because we haven't seen the footage doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Why did this guy run and ram and try to run over ICE agents?
He did not ram. If he did not, there's so many. Brian, are you watching the news instead of watching Fox News and OAM? Are you really watching the news?
I watch
He
news.
did not
I watch
ram
Newsmax.
Okay, you watch that. Okay.
Yes.
Are you really, Brian? They did not ram. They rammed him. He
Okay.
wasn't even what
They
were
rammed
looking for.
him.
They rammed him.
When what happened is they went to pull him over after he picked up a bunch of other illegals, including somebody that was on their arrest list. He wouldn't stop, and they tried to box him in.
No, Brian. He rammed him,
And when they were
Brian.
trying to, in fact, I was on I-95 a couple weeks back when I was driving up to our event at H2 Ocean with Congressman Brian Mast, and the highway patrol pulled somebody over behind me who wouldn't pull over, and they boxed him in. They were trying to box him in because, excuse me,
Highway Patrol.
the ICE are federal agents. ICE he wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop for ICE, so they were boxing him in.
Vehicles, no body cameras, and they know they shot that man for no reason. You can
Really? You think they just think they went out on the street and rammed a random white van and they're serial killers? What are they? They're serial killers?
Yes, they did.
They just roam the streets of Houston looking for white vans and ram them and shoot people?
Until, God forbid, until something happens to somebody you love, you're not going to believe me.
Those of you, remember that commercial in the 80s where they would show that fried egg in a skillet? They were frying and say, "This is your brain on drugs." Doc here, this is your brain on Trump derangement syndrome.
Brian, again, I'm not talking about, I'm just saying, Brian, until, God forbid, something happens to any one of your
Did you see me when I was earlier this week when I was live streaming on YouTube? Hold on, excuse me. Let me finish my sentence so people know what I'm talking about. I was live streaming on YouTube earlier this week, Monday, Tuesday, I can't remember what day. Live streaming, having my coffee in front of Starbucks before the radio show, and a cop rolled up and put his spotlights in my eyes. Did I run? Did I get in my car and ram him? Did I get in my car and try to escape?
And the other guy didn't run neither, Brian. They rammed him, Brian.
No, they were boxing him in because he wouldn't stop.
If they were someone after the guys in the van, why didn't they get them before he picked them up? They knew where they was.
What?
Hello?
Well, I didn't understand the question. There was a lot of mumbling there.
If they were after the guys that were in the van, they're supposed to say illegals, why didn't they pick them up before then?
They were, because he left. You asked a question, don't you want the answer? He had his van. He left his house in his van. He went to another location and then picked up a whole bunch of guys, and one of them was on their list. That was a higher profile arrest, and then they came in because
why didn't they pick him up before then?
Because they wanted to get all of them at once instead of doing 5 or 6 separate arrests.
Again, if the guy did not, Brian. Okay.
When that cop came up to me with the spotlight, if I would have tried to ram him, he would have shot me dead.
He didn't. You were trying to ram. You were sitting there drinking that high-priced coffee at Starbucks.
No, I was in the dark in front of it. I was not in front of Starbucks. I was in front of a closed restaurant in a dark shopping center a few doors down from Starbucks.
Brian, it was not dark. It was, you lighted up, Brian. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Brian.
I was in front of a closed business at 5 o'clock in the morning.
And you had a Starbucks coffee. You had a Trump hat on your head, which already said,
and if you notice, there's a brick wall behind me that you see in the background. There was a wall
and
partially.
It was light. Okay. Well,
But see, when the cop rolled up on me, I behaved properly. I didn't ram his car. I didn't run. I didn't charge him.
How the hell you gonna run this way when you sitting down?
I could have ran towards him if I wanted to die.
And your head dumb ass would have died.
If I would have run towards him, I would have gotten shot. The cops shoot white people, you know. Renee Good was white. Preddy was white. Cops shoot white people too, you know.
I understand that, and it's wrong to shoot. They shouldn't, Brian.
They shouldn't.
We're not going to agree. So you know what? We're not going to agree.
All right.
So
Take care. All right. We'll be right back. My goodness. Give me a break. You know, I feel bad for this guy. You know, I don't want to see anybody get shot, but he got himself shot. You know, he wouldn't pull over. They were trying to box him in with the second vehicle, and they get out, and he tries to run him over. What are they supposed to do? And if you notice, with these liberals, do not accept that ICE are police. Right? They're federal police officers. They're federal agents like the FBI, the Secret Service, ATF, any other. They're federal police. They're federal law enforcement. But they've created this narrative that they always are trying to get going that they're not the police for some reason. And they continue to act, well, that's the police. Well, ICE are the police. They're federal police officers who are following the direct orders of the President of the United States. That's right. And that's just something that they're just never going to accept. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
What if the greatest threat to a kingdom wasn't an invading army, but the loss of memory itself? From author Fakri Bey comes the new epic fantasy, The Vayrith Cycle. The crown that forgot its king. Available on Amazon. In a kingdom where every crown holds power and every name shapes reality. A royal tax collector arrives in a quiet village where everyone knows they have a king, but no one can remember his name. As memories disappear, ancient forces awaken, and a mysterious creature begins consuming not people, but crowns themselves. One disgraced nobleman must uncover a secret buried for centuries before the very idea of kingship vanishes forever. If you enjoy rich world building, political intrigue, dark mythology, morally complex heroes, and sweeping fantasy adventures, The Vayrith Cycle is your next must-read book. Order your copy right now on Amazon, in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. The Vayrith Cycle, The Crown That Forgot Its King, from author Fakri Bey, on Amazon.
Yeah, it's a great deal, guys. Make sure you use my promo code Kane at checkout for that mega sale, all right? We're coming back in seconds, so stand by. "25 seconds and we'll be back." Yeah, promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. Promo code Kane. All right, 15 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. So, this illegal that tried to ram the ICE officers, he got shot dead. We'll get footage from the body cams from the ICE officers at some point. We don't have that yet. It doesn't matter. The other times, like when Renee Good and Preddy were assaulting officers, Renee Good, we saw the video from multiple angles, tried to run over the ICE officers, and that didn't change their opinion, right? They've convinced themselves of their own garbage. Liberals, they gaslight themselves, right? So they have convinced themselves that ICE are not police officers, that there's some illegal gang that's traveling around the country and doing things. This is CNN last night. The View's Ana Navarro is on CNN.
But there's been now at least 5 people killed by ICE in the streets of America. Rubén Rey Martinez, they killed him. Young man, they killed him. San Jose Island in Texas. Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, Keith Porter, they killed him in LA. Renee Good and Alex Petty, they killed them in Minnesota. And now Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. There's been over names as well of Americans who've been killed by illegal immigrants. Do you have that list? I know some of the names. I don't have the list, but I do know some of the names. What are their names?
Good question.
Listen, we have heard all the names. This is not me doing a contest of whether you know the names or whether I know the names. I want to pronounce these names because I think we need to put names and faces. I agree. Absolutely. Okay, so and to the when you want Americans who have been killed by but the people they killed, we don't have a criminal record. The people they killed, Jocelyn Nungare, Steve Kane, and what are the names of people that have been killed by U.S. citizens? How is that relevant? Well, you want to start talking about people who've been killed, then let's start talking about people who've been killed in this country.
You know, see, this is Ana Navarro, like these, and you know, she's a Republican, don't you know? Isn't that crazy? Ana Navarro and these liberals, what they've done is they've created so many bizarre, psychotic narratives in their brains. And this one here is an oldie but a goodie. Well, what about the Americans that kill? Because some lawless Americans from time to time kill someone, undocumented migrants, the illegals, are entitled to a certain number of killings? Is that what that argument means? You know, the way this is insanity to me. That, you know, and I saw the press conference with the son of the guy, and it's sad. I mean, the whole thing's sad. I don't like to see anyone get killed, and you know, and neither does President Trump. And you know what? ICE doesn't like it either. Okay, they don't like it. Sadly, it's part of their job on occasion because these people are resisting arrest, you know, and they painted this portrait of this guy like, you know, the best way I would describe the portrayal of this illegal that was shot trying to run over ICE officers in Houston, Texas, is they're trying to portray him as a modern day Mexican Ward Cleaver. Ward Cleaver was the Beaver's dad, Ward Cleaver. That and I'm sure, you know, what his kids said's true. He loved his family, loved his kids, and he worked hard, but he was here illegally, and he was transporting illegals. And there was one person in that vehicle, which has not yet been identified, I'm sure all this will come out, who was a target of ICE. And he refused to pull over, and he tried to run them over. And when Ana Navarro went through that list, Renee Good and Preddy. Renee Good tried to use her SUV to run over an ICE officer. Preddy got into a physical altercation with federal agents, ICE agents, and he had a pistol with him. You can't bring a pistol and attack federal agents and not expect to get shot. And a vehicle is a weapon too. They're trying to portray this guy as Ward Cleaver, the man in the gray flannel suit, just going off to work every day, working hard. Well, what he was doing was criminal activity. He was transporting illegal aliens somewhere for some purpose, refused to stop for federal agents, and tried to run them over. after he refused to stop, they tried to box him in. He still tried to escape in the vehicle, tried to run them over after that, and sadly, they had to use deadly force. Do you think that these people would be upset if this guy had killed one of the federal agents? I don't think so. I don't think so. But no footage that comes out is going to change their mind. And what's happening in this country, I've been telling you guys, the United States is being colonized. President Trump has definitely slowed it down a lot, and we're trying to push out the colonizers. But the left, they think we deserve it. Don't you understand that in their minds, Anna Navarro, Doc that I was just talking to before the bottom of the hour break, and all the rest you're seeing on television, they think that we're getting what we deserve, that we're the Indians and we're having our land colonized and conquered by these colonists from other countries. That's right. They think we're the Indians. And it's really the same tactic, I guess, that the European colonists used on the Indian population of North America, but they justify it through that. And I'll tell you another thing, too, okay? The Muslims are still fighting the Crusades, don't you know, in their mind. They are. A long time ago, isn't it? But they're still fighting that war, the 1,000-year war. But the liberals and the Mexicans, because the Mexican president, got involved in this incident yesterday, made it international, they're still fighting the Mexican War, which was before the Civil War. And as I was telling you guys yesterday, they believe the entire southwestern United States, including all of California, are U.S.-occupied Mexican territory. Okay? So they feel entitled to be here. And, they can have all the nice pictures of this guy and everything, and I feel sorry for him, but he's still trying to run over police officers. And you cannot try to run over police officers. And yes, federal agents, which ICE officers are police. What they've convinced themselves that there's some illegal gang of, like the fugitive slave catchers back in the 1800s in the antebellum South that would seek out all the escaped slaves in the free states. That's not what's going on here. Okay? And I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry to tell you. And that's why it's so important to vote for whoever President Trump tells you to vote for, because while the border has been shut down and the border crossings are pretty much nil, there's still millions of these colonist invaders in our country. And you can see they're resisting very, very hard the deportations. And I don't care if he's been here 38 years, 36 years? So what? So what? So he hasn't gotten caught? So someone evades cops for 30-some years, all of a sudden they get to go free? I don't think so. All right, we're going to take our last break of the first hour, and we'll come back with some more of your calls. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. Let's check in with John over at Lighthouse Medical and talk to him about how he can rid you of your neuropathy.
This is Brian. I'm at Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. I'm with John. He is the Chief Operating Officer at Lighthouse Medical Center, but also the Director of Neuropathy Treatment. John, a lot of people may have neuropathy and not even know it. What are some of the signs and symptoms people may be experiencing?
Well, Brian, it's common that people will have numbness on the bottom of their feet, burning, tingling, can be pain or discomfort. One of the most common ones is balance problems, and people don't really have some of the other symptoms yet, but they notice their balance is a real issue. Some people can have one symptom, some people can have 8 symptoms, some people can have 3. It just depends on the person, but that's why we have to assess them individually.
I remember when I was a kid, my grandmother used to fall down all the time. She probably had neuropathy.
It's a possibility. Balance is one of the most important things to people's activities of daily living, going to the restroom, getting up, eating, just doing their normal things. So it's really important that we assess those patients for neuropathy so that we can ensure that they have a good quality of life.
So if someone thinks they have neuropathy, or maybe they have some of the symptoms you talked about, they can come in, you'll give them an examination and let them know.
Oh, yes. We're very extensive in our examinations. assessments is they do very minimal testing. We do very extensive testing, blood testing, genetic blood testing, overall health evaluations. We got to get someone's health optimized. It's not just about the neuropathy. It's about their lifestyle choices. It's about their diet. It's about their genetics. It's about correcting the blood work. It's something that we have to assess the patient as a whole to get them to a point where they don't have neuropathy anymore.
If you have neuropathy or think you may have neuropathy, call Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano right now and schedule your no-charge consultation. The number is 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
We'll be right back. Okay, we're clear. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll take some calls after the break. The number's pinned in the live chat if you'd like to call in. Toll free, 888-465-2631. Okay, hang in there, guys. Okay. Okay. Stand by. I'm just queuing up some things for when we get back. Okay. Hang in there. We'll be back in 2 minutes. And if you'd like to call in, the number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
What does it really mean to be the richest person in history? Find out in The Valuation King. How Musk used equity and exits to become the most powerful founder alive. Available on Amazon. This must-read book compares two legendary empire builders separated by more than 600 years. Mansa Musa, the ruler whose documents, as well as in-depth research, uncovering the powerful strategies behind today's biggest fortunes. When you read The Valuation King, you'll learn how equity can become greater than cash and explore the financial playbook that has changed business forever. Whether you're an investor, entrepreneur, business owner, or simply fascinated by wealth and innovation, The Valuation King offers an eye-opening look at one of the most remarkable financial stories ever told. Order your copy of The Valuation King, How Musk Used Equity and Exits to Become the Most Powerful Founder Alive on Amazon and Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited.
All right, we'll be back in about 30 seconds. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take some calls when we get back, all right? The number's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. All right, we're back. My name's Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. A couple things I want to get to. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, please do. The number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. There's a story, though, I want to bring up. I've got a lot of stories to cover today because it's just a day filled and overflowing with news. But there's a big story here with Mamdani. Listen to this. This is in the Gateway Pundit. It's being reported elsewhere, too. You can look this up on your own. Top official in New York City Mayor Zohan Mamdani's administration secretly scheduled a meeting with Iran's UN ambassador. Marco's State Department stopped it. Here's the article. A senior official in New York City Mayor Zohan Mamdani's administration tried to hold an official meeting with the Iranian regime's ambassador to the United Nations. Commissioner Anna Maria Archella, head of the mayor's office for international affairs, had scheduled the meeting for July 7th at 11 a.m. with the Iranian ambassador. Two other senior officials from the mayor's office were set to attend. This has been confirmed by multiple sources. The meeting was called off after the State Department, which had not been informed in advance, stepped in, met with the Mamdani administration to clarify acceptable conduct, according to the City Journal. And the woman that said it, I didn't tell the mayor. Mamdani didn't know anything. This is insane. This woman should be arrested and everyone involved in it. We're not only at war with Iran, we're in a very hot war. They just tried to assassinate the President of the United States again this week. There's a major bombing campaign going on. And the mayor, I don't buy this, Mamdani didn't know about it. They're giving him this plausible deniability garbage, okay? Because of 9/11, and remember, the Trade Center was attacked before 9/11, but because of 9/11, the mayor of New York City gets national security briefings, and people on their staff have access to classified information regarding terror threats and security protocols, all kinds of things. You know, and when you look, we've got a Muslim mayor in New York City. We're at war with the Islamic Muslim Republic of Iran. Iran, for the last almost 50 years, has been behind over 90% of the Islamic terrorism in the world, including October 7th. They trained the 9/11 hijackers and everything. I don't need to go through the list. You guys know. So the mayor of New York City's staff set up a meeting with the top Iranian official in the United States from the UN, when these people have access at the mayor's office to classified information. New York City and other places around the country are on alert from terrorism right now. So they're getting information that's classified on terrorist activity, our response protocols, all kinds of things. What we can and can't respond to, all kinds of information. And this is not just some liberal social justice warriors trying to meet with Iran for some press op. I view this as treason, possible espionage. Think about it. You know, when we were at war with Germany and Japan in the Second World War, if the staff of the mayor of New York City tried to meet with representatives from the Japanese Empire or Hitler's Germany, what would have happened? They would have been arrested. They would have been put in federal prison immediately. Wouldn't even have been a question. So something's going on here. What exactly? It's not good. I promise you that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Ricky from Nebraska. I have 10 inches.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Richie. Yes. Well, we don't quite have to dump that, Mike. That's up to your discretion. I guess you should dump it. It's not one of the words, but he was building up to it. But this is if you're on hold, hang in there while we wait for the delay to re-engage. First dump of the day, and it's not even 7 o'clock yet. Oh my goodness. But this is not the kind of thing that can go unpunished. There's something wrong with this, and this is why the president, who usually presidents, when there's a military action coming, brief Congress, And President Trump's gotten some criticism because he hasn't briefed Congress with some of these things. This is why. Because you have people in Congress that would leak to Iran. Well, now we're in a new situation in New York City. We're at war with the terrorist state of Iran. We have a Muslim mayor, and we have an office filled with a staff that, in the very least, is sympathetic to the Iranian side of the issue. Oh, my goodness. All right, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug. What's up?
I certainly think that this plot against President Trump, when you see the funeral and the big banner they had saying they want to kill President Trump, unfortunately, that was a mistake, man. We should have bombed that funeral. But I guess President Trump was too nice of a guy to want to.
Well, I don't know. I think the president may have changed his opinion now that they tried to kill him 2 days ago again.
Yeah, unbelievable what's going on, man. We're at war with them. Yeah, okay. So they wanted to kill the president. I guess that's their thing. But then to have, like you said, to have people, Americans, going over there and praising the dead leader. And saying, oh man, I don't know what's the matter with Americans, but these people, like you said.
Well, these people at the mayor's office need to be arrested and investigated. I mean, there's no reason that you should not be. What a lot of liberals like to do is they like to throw out the race card to try to intimidate. But there's no doubt that the mayor of New York and his office get special. They have access to special classified intelligence on the terrorist threat and what the U.S. response can be and will be. If they know, the people on Mamdani's staff know what the United States military and reaction would be and how long it would take to react if a terrorist act occurred in the city. So why are people with that kind of knowledge trying to meet with the top Iranian official, a country we're at war with, that's behind all this Islamic terrorism, that's trying to kill the president? I mean, if this isn't espionage and treason, I don't know what is, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I heard somebody on the internet saying that the Muslims, we're going to take over the world, we're taking over America slowly. So this is some sort of national plot, international plot against us. They're forming, and it's hard to stop them, I guess. But man, we have to do everything we can to fix this, because this is really disgusting to see Americans turning into Iranians. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. No, I know. Exactly. All right, Doug, I appreciate the call. Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about Friendly Tire in Margate. Friendly Tire in Margate, by the way, is open on Saturdays, and I'm getting 4 new tires on my car, and I needed 2 new tires. I was telling you guys yesterday, I was over at the dealership getting an oil change. And they said, "Oh, you need new tires." And sure enough, I looked at the tires. I need new tires, and I had them give me the price because I wanted to know, because as soon as I saw I needed new tires, I know where I'm going. I'm going to Friendly Tire in Margate because Friendly Mike is going to give me a great deal, and they gave me the price. I couldn't believe what they told me, and I knew I was going to get a much lower price over at Friendly Tire in Margate. So I called up Friendly Mike and I said, "Hey, I need new tires on my Mini Cooper." He said, "Okay," and he gave me a price. And this is not an exaggeration. Okay, I'm getting 4 brand new tires out the door and on the road for less than what the dealer wanted for 1 tire. You heard me right. I'm getting 4 brand new tires out the door and on the road for less than what the dealer wanted for 1 tire. Brand new. Call Friendly Tire in Margate. We've had listeners that have driven so far to go to Friendly Tire in Margate. He does support the program and has been with us for many years, but his deals are great. You can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. You can get tires for any type of vehicle too. And I only need 2 tires, but I'm getting 4 new ones because the deal's so good, and I want them all to have the same tread on them and everything because it looks good. They're so cheap. I'm getting 4 new tires for less than what the dealer wanted for 1. Crazy. Give Friendly Mike a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. He does tire repairs, and he's got thousands of good used tires in stock for as low as $35 a tire, and that's out the door and on the road too. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. 1 hour down, 2 to go. We'll be back.
Are you looking for jewelry that's as unique as you are? Then check out Kita Luxury on Etsy, where every piece is handcrafted with passion, artistry, and the natural beauty of genuine crystals and gemstones, inspired by a love for one-of-a-kind bohemian designs. Kita Luxury was created with a simple mission to make extraordinary handmade jewelry accessible to everyone. Behind every creation is a talented team of skilled artisans, each bringing their custom expertise to metalwork, stone cutting, beading, and fine jewelry craftsmanship to produce stunning wearable works of art. Whether you're searching for a breathtaking statement necklace, elegant earrings, handcrafted bracelets, beautiful rings, or meaningful jewelry for both men and women, you'll discover pieces that celebrate your individuality and personal style. Every design is carefully handcrafted using high-quality, natural materials, creating jewelry that's more than an accessory. It's a reflection of who you are. Whether you're shopping for yourself or searching for the perfect gift, Kita Luxury offers timeless handcrafted jewelry designed to inspire, delight, and be treated for years to come. These healing crystals are some of the best healing jewelry on Etsy. Visit KitaLuxury.etsy.com. That's KEETA luxury.etsy.com. KitaLuxury.etsy.com. Handcrafted jewelry that tells your story. KitaLuxury.etsy.com.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. Stay asleep at night and wake up well.
Yeah, and I told you guys we're running an extra promotion here with Mike Lindell this month because the mega sale is so huge. These are some of the lowest prices you've ever seen. So go to mypillow.com, use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, for these huge savings. And you can also order by phone using our number there, 800-716-4879. 800-716-4879. We'll be back in just over a minute. And I've got a lot to cover here. So if you're on hold, stand by. I got another topic I want to bring up before I go back to the phones. But you're welcome to call in about, remember, today's open phones on Friday. Open Mag and Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. Okay? 888-465-2631. But I brought up a lot of good things. I hope you're interested in them, but you don't even have to comment on the topics that I've brought up or Steve when he joins us. All right, less than a minute. We'll be back. Oh, my goodness. I cannot believe it is Friday already. Yes, minis are BMWs. That's correct, from Germany. Made in England, but they're owned by BMW. That's correct. So what? Oh, okay. Sure, it is America first. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Welcome, one and all. It is open phones today. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. The show prep is up to you on Open Maga Mike Friday. You don't even have to comment on the topics that we bring up, but I do have another thing I want to bring up before this is important, and I've been watching a little bit of the preliminary hearing in the Charlie Kirk assassins case, okay? And, this is not the trial. Everyone's calling it the trial. It's the preliminary hearing, and, both sides are making motions, and Erica Kirk has representatives there, and the judge is deciding how the trial is going to be run and what evidence is going to be allowed and what evidence isn't going to be allowed. And yesterday we heard from the boyfriend of the assassin, and I think we got he gave 3 confessions, the assassin, to his boyfriend, the note, and they talked. So he confessed like 3 times to the guy, came out in court yesterday, and that testimony will be allowed for the jury to hear. A couple of things here. This is an important trial when it happens, and I'll cover it as it happens. And the trial, there's a big piece missing to everything that's going on, which I'll tell you about in a moment. But the trial, thank the Lord, is happening in a state where it's televised. The trial, though, isn't going to get too much coverage on television. It'll be covered, it'll be talked about, and some people will carry the whole thing live, and there'll be moments of news days and everything else. But there's 2 reasons you're not going to see this trial covered the way that you think it should be, okay? One, the Trump-hating, Trump derangement syndrome suffering media don't really want the second most important MAGA person who's ever lived, Charlie Kirk. They don't want him to be put in a sympathetic light, or his reasoning and the motivations behind the assassination and everything. They don't want that out there. But also, one of the things about this trial that is going to keep it from being the top news story every day is there's no controversy to the trial. What I mean by that is we all know this guy was the shooter. Tyler Robinson is the assassin. Everyone knows this, and he did it. So there's no controversy. With other high-profile cases, everyone wants to compare everything to OJ. If you didn't live through it, you won't understand it. But I remember that was one of the most exciting times in radio, taking live calls during the OJ trial, and it was dramatic every day. And what made the OJ Simpson trial a sensation, there was, you didn't have internet like you have today. The internet was new, but what made it a sensation was, of course, the celebrity factor, because not only was OJ a big celebrity, OJ was a beloved celebrity, Mr. Guy Next Door type, before he killed his wife and Ron Goldman that night. So that was it. People don't realize what a big of a celebrity he was. Huge celebrity, OJ. Like, I remember, he was in The Naked Gun, and I saw The Naked Gun. I remember seeing it in the theater when it first was released. And back then, when movies came out, the movie theaters were packed, and you didn't have all the spoilers you have now because there was no internet. And I remember when OJ came on in the beginning and he had all those injuries, the whole theater was going nuts because it was OJ. But see, there was a controversy to the OJ Simpson trial. Black people were defending him nationwide. So there was a controversy to it. And it was, we covered that. The trial was 9 months long, the actual trial. You had the murders, you had the Bronco chase, but then there was also a preliminary hearing like we're seeing here that was televised, and we covered all of it. And the way that there was controversy the whole way. And there's not here because there's a big missing piece that's being ignored, which I'll get to in a moment. But with OJ, in the beginning, black callers would call in defending OJ from the first second. OJ didn't do it. I know he didn't do it, and all this stuff, right? That was in the beginning. And then as the trial went on, they had that tape of Mark Furman, who I can't believe is no longer with us, Mark Furman. Everyone's like dead. Who's left from that trial? Not many people are left. But the Mark Furman N-word thing, and then there was an incident with Geraldo, was at a restaurant with Nicole Brown's sister. All these things were there were all these controversies during the trial. And I remember taking the calls, and it was a transition. I don't remember the day that it happened. I don't remember the evidence that changed it. But it was months of calls from black callers saying, OJ didn't do it, OJ didn't do it, there's no way he didn't do it. And when the evidence started coming out, and it became incredibly obvious that he killed both, I think it was after the 911 call Nicole made when OJ beat her up and was trying to break into the house. But all of a sudden, like somebody flipped a switch. We come in one day, and every black caller was, yeah, OJ did it, but he should get away with it because white people have been getting away with killing black people for 400 years. And then we had months of those calls. It went from OJ didn't do it to, yeah, he did it, but I don't care, right? Because he killed 2 white people, right? It was much like Ana Navarro, who thinks illegals should be able to kill people because some white people have killed people too. And so there was controversy to that. With the Charlie Kirk trial, while the trial is important, there's not a what we call in the media business, there's not a hook to the story. There's not a controversy to the story so far as that goes, right? There's no one defending Tyler Robinson. It's important, though, that the historical record be set as to what happened, but here's the missing piece. I've been following this case, and his boyfriend, who in that recorded testimony yesterday, gave us, I think, 3 confessions that Tyler Robinson made. One of them was the note under the keyboard of the computer. One was verbal. Was the third one verbal or a text? I can't remember. And he even said, I wish I wouldn't have done it to him. The missing piece is, though, who recruited him. I believe he was recruited. I still stand by that this was a deep state hit by Never Trumpers to try to destroy the MAGA movement. And even his boyfriend, who said he confessed to him 3 times, said that he didn't even really know who Charlie Kirk was. We never talked about him. He wasn't involved in politics. He mentioned Trump a few times. So, they're not getting into the angle of, was he recruited in that furry friends weirdo Discord server room? And I think he was. But what they're covering in this preliminary hearing, and maybe things will change when the trial happens, I don't know, but there's no one out there defending him. We all know we did it, except Candace Owens. We all know we did it, and no one's defending him, like with OJ, right? That's it, and that's why the trial isn't going to get the media coverage that a lot of people think that it should. Now, I will ask you this. Do you think Charlie Kirk's assassin should get the death penalty? And I say no. And I'll tell you why I say no, and I want to hear your thoughts on this either way at 888-465-2631. I'm opposed to the death penalty, but that's not why I'm opposing the Charlie Kirk assassin getting the death penalty. I do believe there was a vast conspiracy. I believe the same people are responsible for the assassination of Charlie Kirk as those who are responsible for shooting President Trump in Butler and trying to do it again at the golf course. Who those people are, we really don't know, but I think it's the same people and same conspirators. And if Tyler Robinson lives 20 years from now, 40 years from now, he may tell us. I mean, think about it. If Lee Harvey Oswald would have lived, do you think we may have ever gotten something from Lee Harvey Oswald after he was in prison for 20 or 30 years? Like in the 90s, when he was an old man, do you think Lee Harvey Oswald would have maybe told us something about who recruited him in New Orleans or something? Yeah, maybe. So him getting the death penalty helps the conspirators that tried to kill the president and assassinated Charlie Kirk. That's that. I mean, that's the main reason I'm opposed to it. Now, I'll tell you this. Oh boy, these are some hot days, aren't they? Woo, boy, oh boy. Yesterday, I went out to check the mail in the afternoon. Holy smokes. I was sweating when I got back in the house. I'm not kidding. That's how hot it is. In Florida, there's air conditioning is life. If your air conditioning is not cooling your house, or there's part of your house that you have those hot rooms in, or your AC is blowing hot air, call Sloman Central Air Conditioning, because upgrading and getting a proper working unit is so easy and affordable. Listen to this. With Sloman Central Air Conditioning, you can get a high-efficiency 5-ton 18-SEER system that uses R454B refrigerant for just $59.99. I know, great deal, huh? With 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months, plus a 5-year bumper-to-bumper service plan, which includes annual system maintenance, filter replacement, and refrigerant. And you'll also receive the Sloman's Shield home security system installed with 5 years of professional central station monitoring included in your AC package. So give them a call right now, 561-217-COOL. That's C-O-O-L. 561-217-COOL. 561-217-COOL. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back. Yeah, guys, I would very much like to hear your thoughts on that. What do you think? Do you think that he was recruited by someone to assassinate Charlie Kirk? Should he not get the death penalty? Yes or no? Do you agree with me that if he lives down the road, we may get some more information? Let me know. Okay, we'll take a quick break.
What happens when a group of complete strangers are thrown together and forced to rely on each other? Find out in the new book from author Helen MacArthur, Super Route 7, Ride or Die. Available on Amazon. This darkly funny novel takes readers on a journey filled with unforgettable characters, unexpected twists, unlikely friendships, and the kind of secrets people spend their lives trying to hide. Written by veteran journalist and magazine writer Helen MacArthur, Super Route 7 blends humor, heartbreak, suspense, and sharp observations about the choices we make and the baggage we carry with us. If you enjoy character-driven stories with wit, mystery, and plenty of surprises along the way, Super Route 7 is a ride you'll want to take. Super Route 7, Ride or Die, from author Helen MacArthur, is available right now on Amazon and free with Kindle Unlimited. Get on board and order your copy right now.
When I got my pillow, I am asleep almost immediately. Stay asleep at night, and I wake up more well rested in the morning.
Now for the lowest price ever. King's 1998. Queen's only $18.98. And King's a Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, for as low as $29.98. Luxury 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry for the concept, now only $39.98. And made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But that's not all. Order right now and we'll ship your order absolutely free.
You hear that? Free shipping. And that mattress topper, the one he showed there at the end, that's the one I have, the 3-inch mattress topper. It will change your life. So go to mypillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, that's K-A-N-E at checkout, or call our number there, 800-716-4879, 800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, we'll be back in seconds. 10 seconds, we'll be back. 5. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
My name is Andy. I'm calling from Fargo, North Dakota.
All right. Andy in North Dakota. What's on your mind?
Well, I just was scrolling, down the shorts, and I seen you were talking about OJ.
OJ,
so
yes.
I thought I would jump on there.
Yes, go ahead.
My
Sure.
kid's mom actually dated him for 13 years.
OJ Simpson?
Right after those murders. Yeah.
Your mother's white, I'm assuming, right?
My what? My what?
Your mother is white. Your mother dated him.
I said my daughter's mom.
Oh, your daughter's mom. Okay, so your daughter's mom is white.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
she
OJ.
is.
Yeah, OJ had a thing for the white. Yeah. Okay, that's something. What was that like?
It was wild, but I just wanted to say, just so there's no confusion. Yeah, he absolutely fucking murdered.
Okay, all right. Second dump of the day. Oh my goodness. I tell you, you know what's happened in our society with with the left. There's no. That's only 2 dumps today, which is not bad. The rest of you on hold, stand by. With the left, there's just no common decency anymore of any kind, and I'm not sure how this happened and when it happened. And a lot of it has to do with the internet and everything else, but there's just no common decency from the left on any level whatsoever anymore. All right, the rest of you on hold, stand by while I definitely wait for the delay to re-engage. Jasmine Crockett, Jasmine Crockett is trying to become a professional black activist because she has no job. And, she's dealing with something, Jasmine Crockett, that she's never dealt with before. And you know what that is? Rejection, not getting her way. Her family are very wealthy. She's not some girl from the ghetto, from the hood, who somehow got some scholarship or Pell Grant and got through college and made her way through law school. She comes from a successful family, and that's cool. But she always wants to act like she didn't. So, she lost her seat because of the redistricting in Texas. Her district no longer exists. And then she lost her bid to become the senator. Tallarico is the Democrat running for Senate. Well, she was talking about why that happened yesterday.
So for me, I am going to be working everywhere. The best thing that I can do for James Tallarico isn't me standing on a stage with him. It is the fact that I endorsed 5 candidates in the runoff who all happen to be black men in the state of Texas, and every single one of them won, and they're going on to November, meaning that they will pull out more black people to vote. People keep trying to say, well, Jasmine has to go and hold his hand. No, I don't. And don't worry about my math and how it works in my mind. Because the reality is that if you can give people more than one thing to vote for, then you have a better chance of getting them out to the polls. And honestly, some people just not going to be sold on certain people that are running in the state of Texas. So the best thing that I can do is take down ballot candidates who no one's ever heard of and do my best to uplift them and increase the voter participation in a way that we did in Texas. You see, a lot of haters got a lot of things to say about me and my race and how I ran it, but the reality is that there was a lot of racist, not a lot. It was racist. It was a racist race. It is what it is, right? But we live in America, as y'all are celebrating 250, okay? We know what this country is. But let me...
Okay, now a couple things there. First of all, I'm watching this, and I didn't pick up on this before. The guy sitting next to her, I don't know who he is for sure, but he looks like Andrew Gillum, the former candidate for Florida governor that got arrested this week. Remember with the mugshot? I don't know who that guy is, but he looks like Andrew Gillum, the guy sitting next to her. I don't know if you've seen what the guy sitting next to Jasmine Crockett. But what Jasmine Crockett said at the end is the reason I shared this. She lost to Tallarico to be the Senate candidate for the Democrats. And it was racism? So what's Jasmine Crockett saying here? What is she saying here? She's saying that the Democrat primary voters didn't vote for her because she's black and voted for the white guy. So what that translates into is she's saying that the Democrat voters are racist and don't like black people. Well, I can agree with Jasmine Crockett on that. Democrats are racist, okay? And that is true. But I don't know if she realizes what it is that she's saying. But I'll tell you this. That guy looks so much like Andrew Gillum. I'm looking at him now. If anybody can look that speech up online, I got it on my X. I'd like to know, was that Andrew Gillum or just a guy that looks like him? And was that before or after his arrest the other day? The Texas Republicans, when they redistricted and did away with her district, did the nation such a favor. Because she is one of the nastiest racists we've had in Congress in a long, long time. And she's still in Congress for a few more months. And when she's no longer in Congress, you're going to see her from time to time, but she's going to fade away. You may see her on CNN or MS Now on occasion, but you're not going to see her all that much. And that's a good thing, because she's a poison person who's talking like it's 1926. If this were 1926, you know, some of the things she's saying might have been relevant 100 years ago. But these race pimps that we have, yeah, I misspoke, happens, right? These race pimps that we have, most of them have faded away. There aren't as many of them as we used to have, right? But she was becoming one. And we don't need any more of that in this country. You know, we've settled and solved all these problems, and there's a lot of mediocre people that have nothing to offer that use race to try to stay relevant, like she's trying to do right now. The reason she lost her race for the Senate is because people don't like her. She's not likable. And she's a spoiled little rich girl. And like a lot of spoiled rich girls, everything she wanted was given to her whole life. And for the very first time, she didn't get what she wanted, whether it's a job, a promotion, the man she wanted to take to prom, whatever it was. For the first time in her life, she's not getting her way. And it certainly can't be Jasmine's fault. It's everybody else's fault. But it really needs to be highlighted that she's saying that the Democrat Party are racist. You know, I got a text yesterday afternoon from a good friend of mine who was asking me about Dr. Appleton and his robotic laser away pain treatment, and they are going over the weekend to see him on Saturday. And, you know, Dr. Appleton and his robotic laser away pain treatment is so amazing and so life-changing. And I've met so many people in this audience who used to live, like me, with pain and thought there was nothing you could do about it. I've met people in this audience who have suffered from some of the worst pains: arthritis, injuries, hip pain, knee pain. Sometimes I've met listeners that because of the job they have, as they get older, they have knee pain or shoulder pain or some type of pain, or maybe they're an athlete, or maybe they were in a car accident. And when I meet people, and when you're in pain, you're really, it's rough. It really is rough. And you just want relief from that pain. You want it now, and you get it with Dr. Appleton and his robotic laser. You know, his robotic laser treatment, a couple things about it. One, the robotic laser actually repairs the damage that's causing the pain. That's why the 7 times he's treated me, he's rid me of pain, Dr. Appleton, and the pains haven't returned, because he's actually repaired the damage in my body that's causing the pain. But his laser treatment isn't just a laser, it's a robotic laser, so it moves around the whole area. So, as an example, with my knee, Dr. Appleton was able to pinpoint in my knee exactly where the pain was. Same with my shoulder. And he doesn't just treat that spot. The robotic laser moves around my whole shoulder or my whole knee, or when he was treating my hand for the arthritis, around my whole hand, and treats where the pain is, the top, the side, the bottom, the other side, and goes all the way around and treats the whole area. It's absolutely amazing. So it's not just a laser, it's a robotic laser that treats the area that's causing you the pain from every angle, and it's amazing. Give Dr. Appleton a call. The consultation is free. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. If you have x-rays or scans, bring them with you. Dr. Appleton will gladly look them over. 954-973-0710. 954 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. All right, guys, hang in there.
How would you like to create professional documents in seconds instead of hours? You can do just that with DocAssistAI.pro, the AI-powered platform that helps you create, sign, send, and manage documents with ease. Need a contract, agreement, NDA, employment, or business document? Just describe what you need in plain English, and DocAssistAI.pro creates a professional document in seconds. Need signatures? Send legally binding e-signature requests with secure email verification, complete audit trails, and real-time tracking. Already have your own PDF? Upload it and collect signatures in just a few clicks. Working with a long contract or report? DocAssistAI.pro can even generate an AI-powered summary so you can understand the key points fast. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Visit DocAssistAI.pro. That's DocAssistAI.pro. Create, sign, send smarter with DocAssistAI.pro. What if getting help in an emergency was as easy as opening an app? It is with VCER Signal. VCER Signal is the 911 of the future and the world's first emergency response gig community, where everyday people help everyday people. Whether you're stranded with a flat tire, locked out of your house, need urgent home repair, or want added protection for yourself or children, VCER Signal connects you with nearby people who are ready to respond when you need help most. It's a revolutionary new way to think about safety. It's fast, local, and community-powered. VCER Signal is simple. People saving people. Imagine having a trusted network at your fingertips for roadside assistance, home emergencies, personal safety, and so much more. All through one.
All right, we're back. If you're on hold, stand by. It's time to check in with attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. You know, Barry, you came up on my LinkedIn feed yesterday. You're pretty active on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. And I saw a post that you put up there, and it was about people not reviewing their estate plan. And you said that people are stunned to find out how long it's been, and that their plans are out of date because things haven't been reviewed in so long, and that causes so many problems. It's really it's amazing how many people they think they get a revocable living trust, they have an estate plan, and they think they can put it in a drawer and it's good forever, but that's not really the case, is it?
Well,
Well, it's not, because the moment it's signed, before the ink is even dry, time goes on and things happen.
Yeah.
Things change in our lives. Things change in the laws change. Your financial situations may change. All these things may change as time goes on, and that's why it's important to review it. Just like you review your financial plan, your life insurance, your long-term care, you have reviews with your CPA. You even have updating systems with your doctor. Don't you go every 6 months or every year and you get a review, a checkup? I mean, all of those things, it's important to update, and it's the same thing with your estate plan. To make sure that you have an estate plan that works, you need to make sure that it's reviewed and updated if necessary from time to time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you recommend people have their plan reviewed every 3 years, and you actually offer free reviews.
Yeah, our clients do get free reviews every 3 years, and if they need to see us sooner, if something comes up a year after they see us, for example, they can just call us and come in, and we'll meet with them for free. It's just that we reach out to them every 3 years and say, hey, it's time for your checkup, for your free review.
Yeah.
And of course, we offer those who are not yet clients have the opportunity to come in and have their estate plan reviewed by us at no charge as well. And that way they'll get to know what it is they have, what might be missing, or they might get a clean bill of health and say, hey, everything looks great. Whatever it is what it is. And that way you know what you have. I mean, don't we want to know that our family's protected and that things are set up? It's not good enough to just say, oh, well, I did this. I took care of it. I did I went on one of those online services or went somewhere and got it done and just said, okay, I'm checking off the box, because you may have done it, but did you do it right? Is it up to date? Those are the questions.
Yeah, and for America's 250th anniversary at the Siegel Law Group, Attorney Barry Siegel is offering a 250 times 4 special, $1,000 off, which is something you've never offered before. So guys, you want to call and set up your no-charge in-office consultation now. Make sure you mention that offer when you call. The number is toll-free, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, have a great weekend. We'll talk next week.
You too, Brian. Thank you.
All right, take care. Rest of you on hold, hang in there. There was some big news that dropped overnight last night. I opened with, and I want to recap because it's very important. There was another major assassination attempt on President Trump, a real one. The Israelis found out about it, and it was the Iranians. They were planning on sending rockets either to try to shoot down Air Force One or hit the NATO meeting in Turkey. But it was going to, Turkey borders Iran, and Turkey is a Muslim nation. The largest mosque in the world is in Turkey. It used to be a Catholic church. Now it's a mosque. I know. Hopefully that's not our future. Who knows? Who knows, right? But the Israelis found out about this plot and alerted the president, and it was stopped. And that's why there was all this confusion and discussion 2 days ago about the new Air Force One, the old Air Force One. And we really got to thank the Israelis for saving the life of President Trump. I mean, make no mistake about it. That's what they did. They saved the life of the President of the United States. This is the third confirmed assassination attempt against President Trump by the Iranians. And the president's response to this was one of the bravest things I've ever seen. I think maybe the bravest thing I've ever seen a sitting president do. Now, when they shot the president in Butler, we saw they went, he got up, fight. But he wasn't the president then. He was a candidate and a former president. Right now, he's the commander-in-chief and president of a nation at war with a major military operation going on against Iran. And they found out that they were planning an assassination when he was in the country bordering theirs. In a Muslim, things get really dangerous in a Muslim country. Remember that SEAL Team 6 was killed. SEAL Team 6 took out bin Laden, and Obama and Biden did the very stupid thing of letting the world know that SEAL Team 6 killed bin Laden. And Al-Qaeda had people embedded in the Afghan military who told them which helicopter SEAL Team 6 was going to be flying in, remember? And that's how Al-Qaeda killed SEAL Team 6. How many died? It was over 200? Obama and Biden got all of SEAL Team 6 killed. But because Muslims, they were embedded. In Turkey, I promise you, because it's a Muslim nation, that even though they're friends of ours, kinda, although I would never go to Turkey. You ever see Midnight Express? There's no way I'd go to Turkey. I saw that movie as a kid. It'll scare the living daylights out of you. Midnight Express, holy smokes. But they have assets in Turkey because of the Muslim nature of things. Just like any other Muslim nation in the world, Iran and their terrorist networks, they have operatives. Okay, so you know, they always have Trump on their list, but because he was so close and in a nation that they have a lot of friends in, this was a truly serious threat, and we did not find out about it. United States intelligence did not find out about it. Mossad found out about it, and they alerted the president, and that's how it was stopped. I mean, think about that. And what President Trump did, when I say it's the bravest thing I've ever seen a sitting president do, I've never seen a sitting president do, or a former president either, do what President Trump did. He flew out on Air Force One, regardless of which one. He flew out on Air Force One, and you know that the Secret Service and the military did not want him to do that. They wanted him to fly out in secret. They probably wanted to put him on any military aircraft without anyone knowing, and we wouldn't have known about any of it until he was back in Washington, and probably wouldn't have even known about it then. But something happened where the media got wind of something and started talking about the Air Force Ones and the new Air Force One and the Qatar Force One and all of this stuff. And they let some information out. You know, I remember when George W. Bush was president, okay? When George W. Bush was president and the war in Iraq was hot, President Bush made a surprise trip to Iraq. Remember this? I think it was Thanksgiving. And on Air Force One, he took the media with him. And the general in charge was he was about to read a message from the president in the mess hall, and then President Bush walked in, everybody got excited. The media didn't leak that out. They kept it quiet. They kept a lid on it. He flew all the way from Washington to Baghdad, and no one knew until after he was gone. The media have always been liberal, but they didn't have Trump derangement syndrome with George Bush. They were just liberal jerks, but they had some decency about them. This media, they're not decent. So they caught wind. They didn't know about this assassination plot that the Israelis foiled, but they knew that there was some change with the aircraft, and they just couldn't keep it a secret because they hate Trump so much. And they've really got a thing about that plane that Qatar gifted the United States Air Force, the new Air Force One. So the media immediately go out there and start talking about it. So not only was there a real rocket attack plot to assassinate President Trump in Turkey, he still flew out on Air Force One when the military and the Secret Service wanted to fly him out on a private or on an unknown military aircraft. They could have put him on a stealth bomber. They could have put him on a cargo plane from the Air Force. They could have put him on anything. No one would have known. And President Trump, knowing everything, still flew on Air Force One because he didn't want to send a message to the Iranians that he was afraid of them. And that took a lot of guts, didn't it? It absolutely did. How could you not be proud of him? I mean, that's amazing. Would you have the guts to do that? And you could tell the media were terrified because, especially because they told them to put the blinds down, right? Remember, I played that clip yesterday, and they started getting scared because they knew if they had to put the blinds down, which they don't normally have to do, that there's the fear of an attack. So all of a sudden, they realized what was going on. President Trump knew all along, and he still did it. even though they didn't want him to. Now, there's some of that great special from Barry. There's an incredible deal also going on for the 250th anniversary from Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Coastal Weight Loss Secret is offering $400 off for a limited time. $400 off. And you've seen the great weight loss I've had. I've kept all the weight off. The thing about keeping it off, since I didn't have any big lifestyle changes, no exercise, I wasn't starving myself, I ate foods I would normally eat, no drugs, no pills, nothing, no shots. And since I didn't have big lifestyle changes, maintaining my weight loss has been effortless. It really is. I haven't gained any weight back, and it's not work. It just is. It works. And Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help you lose weight no matter how much you want to lose, whether it's 25 pounds or 525 pounds or anywhere in between or even more. And right now, you can lose weight for $400 off. For a limited time, this is for the 250th anniversary of the United States. Give them a call. And remember, Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help you lose weight no matter where you are located in America or the world. Give them a call right now. Take advantage of this $400 off special, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. We'll be right back.
Hi, Tom Laporta here. We are Laporta Roofing, a family business since 1983. You are our customer, and our word is our boss. We are here for and because of you, not the other way around. The 2026 rainy season is upon us. Because we haven't had a hurricane in 2 years, all the storm chaser roofing companies have gone out of business, leaving only the strongest and the best contractors. At Laporta Roofing, we will never sell you a roof you don't need. We don't have salesmen or commissions, so we will never pressure you to sign a contract. Also, deposits are not required. At Laporta Roofing, you will always come first. We must earn your trust, and we will. So call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the web at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, or on the web at laportaroofing.com.
One mother's fighting over adoption fraud and child trafficking has inspired a powerful new book series calling for greater government accountability. The Colorado Government Book Series from author Lindsay Schaefer is a deeply personal collection based on our own experiences and years of legal and personal battles. From The Missing, which covers where her daughter was kidnapped and child human trafficked out of the state of Colorado. Infuriating Conflictus, which features a 14-month disability case and spousal support case. And Warranty of Habitability, where Lindsay describes the unlivable conditions she found helping the poor, with 10 shelters in Denver, Colorado, having mold and asbestos. Author Lindsay Schaefer shares her perspective on child custody, disability benefits, homelessness, and the challenges she faced while seeking justice. If you're searching for a thought-provoking book series that raises the difficult questions and encourages readers to think for themselves,
Unbelievable.
the Colorado Government Book Series from author Lindsay Schaefer online at payhim.com/Lindsay777. That's payhim.com/777.
When I got my pillow, I was asleep almost immediately. Stayed asleep at night, and I wake up more well rested in the morning.
Now for the lowest price ever. Kings, $19.98. Women's only $18.99. Make these in green bed sheets, the best sheets in the business. As low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and get a second annual mega sale. But that's not all. Order right now and we'll ship your order absolutely free.
All right, we'll be back in about 30, 40 seconds. So stand by, guys. Stand by. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our number 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. This deportation case that ended up with this illegal getting shot in Texas, they're really trying to make this a viral, what they're trying to make this into the new Maryland man. And we saw the press conference with his son. His sons. He has two sons that were both born here, even though he's been illegal for over 30 years. And that Maryland man blew up in their face because what did we find out? He was involved in all kinds of illegal activity. He was with MS-13. He was a human trafficker, trafficking people across state lines and everything else. And human trafficking is slave trafficking, is what it is. Slave trafficking. And this guy that they're trying to make into this Ward Cleaver and the new Maryland man. And it's a sad story when anyone gets shot dead by anyone. It's sad. It's sad. I mean, we don't want to see. We want to see people deported that are here illegally, but we don't want to see them killed. But if they try to run over cops, so what do we find out? He's got this white van, which right there, the white van in itself is that's a red flag, right? Parents, don't you tell your daughters to stay away from white vans? Guys in white vans are scary, aren't they? You don't want to go anywhere near a white van, do you? Nope. That's what the serial killers drive. But anyway, this guy, so he's illegal in the country over 30 years. He gets in his white van and he drives over and picks up a whole bunch of other illegals. Then when they go to pull him over, he evades them. They try to box him in with the second ICE vehicle. He still tries to escape, making turns down streets and everything else. And then he tries to run them over, and that's when they shot him. And it's a tragedy, but what was this guy's real job? Why was he transporting so many? How many were in the car? 5, 6? What was his job? Was his job to pick up the guys and take them? What they have on the in this country, the illegals that they have here serve a bunch of different purposes for them. Okay, but one of them is slave labor, low-cost labor. And I came across this story yesterday. I wanted to share. This is a guy. He's a white American guy. He's got a factory, some type of manufacturing plant in South Carolina. And ICE came. And he's talking to the local news, local Fox affiliate, what happened after, during, and then after ICE came. Listen to this. Wow. They had 100 employees. Now there's only 24 that are there. It wasn't that they were all arrested. Some were. But the others are afraid to come back because they're here illegally. So this guy, of all places, South Carolina, the heart of the Confederacy here, right? How many South Carolina had more slaves almost than any other state. And this guy here, he sounds like he's a Confederate plantation owner, doesn't he, with that South Carolina accent? And here he is upset that the government came and have taken 75 of his slaves away. Now, it's not the same kind of slaves that his great-great-granddaddy had back in the 1850s, but they're paying them next to nothing. Why do you think he doesn't want to hire Americans? But he goes into some more detail. He knew exactly what was going on, this guy. Yeah. So his modern day slave plantation, they did a roundup. But you know what that is? That's 75 new jobs created. 75 new jobs created. That's it. And this goes on and on. And, you hear so much from the left about so many different things. But these migrants, listen, they're all illegal, but a lot of them just want to work, but they're modern day slaves, just like the sharecroppers. The Democrats have never ended slavery. They just, the Republicans freed the slaves, and then after the Civil War and the slaves were freed, this guy's great-great-granddaddy and the rest of the Democrats in the South came up with sharecropping, and then they had another 100 years of slavery. Now, the Democrats, what do they have? Now they had this uncontrolled immigration where they brought over 25 million people here during the auto pen 4 years, and that's another new slave population. The Democrats are always going to support slavery. Now, the type of slavery changes, and it's not the same slavery that they had back in the day, but it's still slavery nevertheless. And the Democrat Party has always been a party of slavery, even still today. And I promise you, this guy's a Democrat. And nobody calls it what it is. Now, the illegals serve other purposes other than a low-cost slave labor force for them, but they're most definitely a slave labor force for them. And this guy's and this guy's probably freaking out. What am I going to do? Because he just can't bring other illegals in because the word's out on the street that ICE has caught on to this place, and they don't want to get deported, so they don't want to show up and they don't want to go there. It's disgusting. I tell you, there's you look at the modern Democrat Party, there is not a single positive characteristic or idea that comes from the Democrats. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. The number is 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I just want to say Republicans are the...
I'm sure you do. See what I mean? See what we're dealing with today. Oh, my goodness. Yes. That was a preemptive strike, so we didn't have to actually use the dump button. And I'll tell you, if you notice, we've had a few of these weirdos. You know what it is? It's the Charlie Kirk trial. And there's something about these weirdos and creeps on the left that the Charlie Kirk trial, maybe their furry, fuzzy friend that's on trial, it gets them all excited. So the reason we've been hearing from these weirdos today on the phones is they're triggered by the Charlie Kirk trial. I want to talk for a moment about Friendly Tire and Margate. This is just amazing. So I'm getting 4 new tires put on my car, and I was talking about this in the first hour, and I went over to the dealer and for an oil change. I get oil changes for free. So I go to the dealer, get my free oil change, and they're trying to upsell me on all kinds of stuff I don't need, but they told me I needed new tires, and I looked, I needed new tires. So I know I'm going to Friendly Tire and Margate. I'm not going to buy tires here or anywhere else and get ripped off, but I had them give me the price just so I can compare. And I am getting four brand new tires on my car for less than what the dealer wanted for 1. It's amazing. Friendly Tire and Margate, you can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. And when I say out the door and on the road, remember, Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or even dispose of your old tire. So the price that Friendly Mike gives you on the phone is the final out the door price. He can get tires from any type of vehicle. He can get tires of any brand that you want as well. And he also has thousands of used tires in stock as low as $35 a tire. And that's out the door and on the road too. And he does tire repairs. Give Friendly Mike a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. All right? 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. All right, we'll take our break for the top. Call is on hold. Hang in there. Our number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break, and the 8 o'clock hour begins right now. All right, we'll be back in just over a minute, guys. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you want to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. Now, Charlie Kirk triggers these people. No doubt about it. Okay, we got 1 minute. We'll be back. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is
Hold on,
Aaron
hold
from
on.
Jersey.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, guys. All right, we're back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. 8 o'clock hour has begun. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Aaron from Jersey.
Hey, Aaron. What's up?
Hey, I was just curious. What did you think about Laura Loomer, all the things she had to say about Trump and the Trump administration?
Well, you got to be more specific.
Well, she said that Trump has become, and the administration has become Muslim friendly.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Trump, he said Mamdani wasn't a jihadist.
Mm-hmm.
This is Laura Loomer's words.
Yeah.
This is what she's upset about.
Yeah.
He would live in New York under Mamdani.
Uh-huh.
Of course, he released the sanctions on Syria.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, of course, Qatar building an air base in Idaho.
That last part's not. I know 100% is not true. There's no Qatar air base. No. There's no. No.
That's Laura Loomer saying.
No. There's no Qatari Air Force base in Idaho. There's a U.S. Air Force base that, like many other. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me answer your question. Okay. Many other countries that we're friends with and allied with, we allow them to train alongside the U.S. military, often the Air Force, at U.S. Air Force bases. So some Qatari pilots are training at a U.S. Air Force base. There are no foreign military bases in the United States, nor will there be. That's not true.
Well, that's what Laura Loomer says.
Okay.
So
The Qataris are going to train with the Air Force, and it might be in Idaho, but they're not going to have an Air Force base. No. There are no...
No, she said they were building one.
No, if they're building something, it's a facility to train with the United States Air Force with. We do not allow foreign militaries to have bases in the United States.
Okay. So what about the other things? Those.
Well,
things
I believe that I know for a fact that President Trump considers Laura Loomer to be a close advisor to him. And that's a circle very few people are in. And I think that he agrees with Laura Loomer 100% of the time on pretty much everything. However, he's not a journalist or an influencer, right? He's the president who's trying to get another agenda going on. So sometimes he has to get along with people that he doesn't like or approve of, but he has to deal with them because they're in place.
Okay.
What I mean, like as an example, you mentioned Mamdani. You know, President Trump has a lot of property, very valuable property in New York City. Not just his home. He's got Trump Tower. He's got that building down in Wall Street. He's got all kinds of things going on, right? So what should he do about Mamdani?
No, nothing. I mean, you guys are the ones that claim New York is this Muslim safe haven.
It is.
Okay, so Trump is okay living there. So I
he doesn't live there. He
said he doesn't. He would live there,
but he doesn't.
Mamdani.
He lives.
But he
hold on a second. When he's not at the White House, his official residence is here in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. He's a Floridian. He's not a New Yorker anymore, so he doesn't live there.
We understand that, but he said he would live there under Mamdani.
Well, he's got billions of dollars in property there. What's he supposed to do? Because Mamdani's there, the mayor, he's not supposed to sleep there? I don't understand what you mean. You keep saying he would live there. He'd live there. I don't understand what you mean. Do you?
This is Laura Loomer's argument.
No. When you say you keep stressing, he said he would. What does that mean to you?
That's because those are the words that he said.
But you say them with emphasis, like what does that mean? Like as an example, he was just in Turkey. Turkey is a Muslim country, so he shouldn't associate. You don't think he should associate with Muslims?
Visit? You say he visited Turkey, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He's talking about actually living in.
No, he's not talking about living. He is not talking about living in New York.
He would live there under Mamdani.
No, he's not. He doesn't live. He doesn't live there, and he never will again. He lives in Florida.
Okay, the question was, would he live in New York City under Mamdani? And he said yes, he would live in New York
Sometimes
City
people
Mamdani,
say,
after flattering him.
So what? So sometimes you say things that are nice to people that you don't mean.
So he's lying when he says all those other things about Mamdani.
He is president of the United States, and he has to get along with certain people. He can't go around alienating everybody. What point? Why should he make an enemy of Mamdani?
Trump can't go around alienating everybody, really?
No.
Since when? That's new.
No, he's a very friendly, gentlemanly guy. What do you? How should he treat Mamdani to you? What do you want him to do?
I want him to be honest.
If he feels all of those things he says in the media when Mom Donnie isn't there, I want him to be honest and say
this
them
is
in
nuts.
his face when he
Okay,
is there.
so you know, let's use another example, okay? Like in my house, right? I own my house, right? And I've talked about this before. Anytime there's a house for sale on my street and I see the real estate agent bring people over, I grab a MAGA hat, I put it on, and I go out in the front yard and pretend to be busy because I want the people to know that I'm conservative, right? If I had a liberal Muslim family move in next door to me, what am I supposed to do? Sell my house and move? Are you, you know, is that what you think we should do? If we're conservatives and Muslims move in next door, you think we should move?
That's not my suggestion.
I'm trying to understand the point you're trying to make with the president.
Honesty. My point is, I want him to be honest.
He was honest. He did not want Mom Donnie. He did not want Mom Donnie to be mayor, but he's mayor. He can't change that.
But he doesn't have to flatter him, right? He
No.
can still say all the things
No.
he says in the media.
No, politicians and business people are, you know, President Trump's known as a negotiator. Successful presidents charm people. It helps you get your way.
So dishonesty.
No. It's called good business. It's called good business.
Being dishonest.
Right, Mom Donnie.
So
no.
Business is fucking fine to do good business. It can't be both.
When you go to a restaurant, okay, and the pretty waitress is nice to you, does she really care, or is she just trying to get a good tip?
But when I
is she
leave,
lying?
If she talks crap about me, when I leave, then yes.
I'm just trying to understand. You think that people that are MAGA, like the president, who's the #1 MAGA guy, that we should refuse to live in cities with Muslims? I'm trying to understand your point.
No.
I'm just confused.
I'm saying you should be consistent. I'm saying he specifically. I'm not talking
President,
about MAGA people.
President Trump is. Hold on a second here. President Trump is not a segregationist.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, that's what you're saying. You're saying because there are Muslims in New York that if Trump were to live there, that would make him a hypocrite. That he should segregate himself to not live around Muslims.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the things he said about Mom Donnie specifically. I'm not talking about Muslims.
So what? He said nice things about him. I don't understand the point. So he said nice things.
And when he's not there, he doesn't say nice things.
I haven't heard him say anything. Not only have I not heard him say anything negative about Mom Donnie, he invited him to the White House and was nice to him.
He didn't say negative things about Mom Donnie when he was campaigning.
Oh, that's politics. He had him in the Oval Office, and they were friendly.
So he's either being honest or dishonest. Those are the choices.
No, this is because you're no. This is the thing with you. No. See, this is what it is with you liberals. No, see, the truth. No, the truth. Okay, here's what you don't understand as a liberal.
It's true.
This is what you don't understand as a liberal. You can disagree with people if you're without being disagreeable, but you on the left, if you don't agree 100%, you want to cut that other person off completely. There's no middle ground. You can disagree without being disagreeable with the opposition.
I agree with that.
So what's your point with? So I don't understand your point with Trump.
I'm talking about honesty. You're tap dancing all around it.
I'm not tap dancing. I'm standing still. I'm standing up and standing still.
Around it. Tap dancing around.
Okay, what would he now? What would President Trump have to say for you to say he was being honest?
I don't want.
You say he's being dishonest. What would he have to say to be honest to you?
I want him to say what he says when Mom Donnie isn't there.
Like what? What does he say? What is he? I've not heard him say, and I have not heard him say a negative thing about Mom Donnie.
Ever.
No. Tell me, what did he say? What did I miss?
No. Now you're being dishonest. You've never heard Trump.
Tell me what he said.
Thing about
Tell me what he said.
Ever?
Tell me what he said.
specifically?
Yeah.
That was a question. I don't know.
You don't know.
Specific phrase.
Oh,
right,
so you
the
can't think of
specific
anything
phrase,
negative
no.
he said.
But
You know why? Because he
not the
hasn't.
specific phrase, but we both. I really. He has never said anything negative about Mamdani.
No. In fact, a lot of conservatives have been upset with him because he's been so nice to him.
Yeah, Laura Luma.
Well, because he's been nice to him, not because he said negative things.
Right now in his face, but that wasn't the reason they're upset with him is because they know that he said these things behind Mamdani's back. And
What
once he
things?
got in
But
his
you don't
face,
know. You don't
he
know what
changed
any
it.
of them are.
Okay, so neither do they. They don't know either.
Why?
They just
Well, why?
upset
Why
for no
don't you?
reason?
Why? Well, no, you're the one calling me. So you say that he's saying negative things about Mamdani, but you don't know what any of them are.
You brought the conservatives up.
All right, hey,
You
listen,
brought up the
I'm
conservatives.
late for the
The
break.
only one I know is Laura Luma,
I'm late
and
for
I
the
told you what
break.
she said.
I'm late for the break, so I got to go. But take care. All right, good call. Appreciate the call. A good attempt. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. You know, annuities are amazing. They absolutely are amazing. You know, with an annuity, your money is never at risk, and you're guaranteed a monthly income for the rest of your life. That's it. I just have to give out his number for the free consultation. After that, it's amazing. You know, so many people out there, as you get older, more and more people I know, they're talking about retirement, they're planning on retirement. And with annuities, you can retire comfortably and maybe even earlier, right? Because you get that income stream coming in. I know so many people, so many of my friends, can I retire at 62? You know, 62, can I retire at 62? Can I afford to retire? You know, yeah. With an annuity, yeah, you very well may be able to. Call Joe Thomas, talk to him about annuities. The consultation is free. And you can take advantage of this free consultation no matter where you are located. And if you have a 401k or an investment account that's just sitting there and not generating income, turn that account or part of that account into an annuity so you get that monthly check every month. And there's many different types of annuities too. Call Joe Thomas. You know, after that free consultation, Joe Thomas is going to put together a custom proposal based on your situation and your goals and your needs. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back. Okay, we're clear. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll take more calls after the break, but I don't quite understand the point of that caller. Do you guys? So he wants him to say things about Mamdani that he says when Mamdani's not there, but he didn't know of anything that he said that was negative. And he thinks that MAGA people we're supposed to racially and ethnically segregate ourselves from people that aren't white. I'm very confused with the point that he was trying to make. I think he thought he had a point. Right? I think he thought he had a point, but he didn't. I think when he was thinking it to himself, it made sense, like he thought he had something. But I could be wrong. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'll take calls when we get back. But if we'll be back in 2 minutes. If I missed it, let me know. All right? The number's pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You know, it is a lot nicer when you live in a neighborhood like I do where everyone agrees with you pretty much. No liberals on my block. Oh, man. I will go to the phones when we get back. By about 90 seconds and we'll be back. And don't forget, guys, catch me over the weekends. You know, I live stream in the studio and take live calls over the weekends as well. All right, just like I do here during the week. A little more than a minute and we'll be back. I'm drinking iced tea from Publix. Do you guys get this at Publix? I don't usually have it in here in the studio, but I'm extra thirsty today. Yes, yes, yes. Sweet tea. Less than a minute, we'll be back. Insane. About 30 seconds. It's a funny thing because I think sometimes people have this idea of something in their mind, and then when they say it out loud, and that's what happened to this last caller, it doesn't make that much sense. All right, 10 seconds. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Hey, this is James from Boynton Beach.
Hey, James. What's up?
Hey, two things. One, kudos to you, man. You and Steve handle these liberals like nobody's business.
Well, thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Well, that last caller, I'm really confused. You know, what happened with that last caller is what's happened with him is I was just kind of toying with him like one of my cats with a little string and catnip. But, you know, he's a black liberal and he's a bigot, and he has this stereotype of white MAGA people that we're bigots, and that if there's somebody that's not white and conservative, we don't want to live where they're at. He thinks we're segregationists. That's just his racist negative stereotype that he has towards us. That's all that was. Yeah.
It's just incredible how these liberals can just think they know everything about the government and crap and just junk stuff.
You're in Boynton Beach. We're so lucky. You know, this weekend I'm not going out of town this weekend, but I'm going to Donald John Trump International Airport just to be there, just to hang out, just to see the signs.
Awesome.
You should drive up there off of Donald John Trump Boulevard.
I do. Well, I do. I drive up there every day for work to Riviera Beach.
Oh, have you seen the sign yet? They changed the sign on the on I-95 for yeah, it's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
So the reason for your call today.
All right. I'm sorry?
So the purpose of your call today, what's on your mind?
Oh, the purpose of my call is, hey, I wanted to find out if you knew anything about, remember that jerk in California who had that rep with the fires?
Which one? Swalwell?
No, the young guy. I forgot his name.
Spencer Pratt? Spencer Pratt.
Fires.
Oh, no. Oh, the arsonist? Okay. The arsonist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, the arsonist. The arsonist is not Spencer Pratt. No, the arsonist, I cannot remember his name. But I know who you're talking about. Okay. The leftist. He's a liberal.
Okay. Do you know anything? Has there been any new news about him?
No, in fact, it's interesting that you bring it up. They've covered it up. They found the guy that started the fires. He was a leftist, and that's the last I heard of him.
Okay.
See, I personally believe that was a controlled burn. You know, a lot of those people in Malibu bought those houses in the 70s and 80s, and it's some of the most valuable real estate on the planet, and they're gone now. And a lot, you know, like Steve Guttenberg, as an example, great actor, and he was a big movie star in the 80s.
Absolutely.
You know, and Tom Hanks destroyed his career, got all of his roles. You know, and I'm a big fan. Wow. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Steve Guttenberg. Great, but you think Steve Guttenberg has the money to rebuild in Malibu? Probably not. You know, and
no.
Yeah, and it's sad. And he was helping people during the fires too. I saw him on TV helping people get their cars out of there. But you know, they it's just like they did in Hawaii. They cleared all. It's a big real estate scam.
Oh wow! Yeah. Well, the real estate is a bunch of bull too out there in California.
Yeah, you know, I've got so many mixed feelings because I was really rooting for Spencer Pratt, and he says he's got some new things now. But if they clean up Los Angeles, my daughter will move back, and I don't want my daughter to move back. So maybe, so it's kind of selfish of me. You know, California. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Any parent does not want their child to move away.
That's true. That's true. If you're a good parent. But you know, in Boynton Beach, you know, you and I, we're in Palm Beach County, and I was reading an article in the local news a couple days ago that Palm Beach County, a historically Democrat county, is expected to turn red.
God, I hope so.
Could you imagine? Who would have ever thought?
Yeah, well, this Lois Franco girl who's in Congress now.
She's the worst.
I know, right? She's terrible.
She used to be the mayor of West Palm Beach.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I don't know how she got so high in rank, but she's not good whatsoever.
Yeah, she looks like Yoda.
Right.
Doesn't she?
Yes, sir, she does.
So it tells you can do anything.
Right,
She didn't get where she is on good looks, I'll tell you. All right, take care, Boynton Beach.
Thank you.
All right, take care, take care. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brother Brian, good morning, IB.
Hey, IB.
That guy, I think his point was, like, when in the hearings in Congress and they just besmirch you and they just make accusations and they go reclaiming my time, that was the only thing left out of what he was doing. All he did was besmirch and slander. And when you started asking questions, well, give me, like, just 1 point. And he just doesn't want to give a point because he doesn't have.
Well, and I'll tell you another. Yeah, you're right about that. And I'll tell you another thing, IB. You know, liberals, whenever they lose elections, they're always talking about leaving the country. So because we got a jerk who's the mayor, you're supposed to leave. You know, I'm going to live in Florida till I'm dead. I'm going to live here for the rest of. Nothing would get. If Democrats took over, I'd stay here. You know, I'm not going to leave my home because somebody gets elected that I don't like or disagree with politically. So Trump's supposed to sell his billions of dollars in property that he's so proud of, that are historical landmarks and part of the skyline, because Mamdani. It makes no sense.
We have Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen DeGeneres coming back to America. When I wish Whoopi Goldberg would leave. To finish up what I said yesterday on Iran, here's the bottom line. Netanyahu has been dealing with these people. He knows their mindset. Trump finally came to the conclusion that I can't reason with them, okay? So it doesn't matter. Trump is human, okay? These people are unreasonable. So, like I said, we have to blast them, whatever it needs. But he doesn't want to really hurt the people. Well, of course, we can take out grids and power lines and water control, of course.
Exactly.
But he's still hurting so many millions of people. Trump is, and with the weight on his shoulder, knowing that they tried to assassinate him once again in their area.
Exactly.
In their arena. I mean, this guy has the restraint that you cannot believe.
And I'll tell you, this Iranian assassination attempt on the president this week that the Israelis foiled, it's not getting very much news coverage. They were talking all about the Air Force Ones. This is why there was so much confusion on which plane he was going to be on. You know, I mean,
That's what the call was all about, deflection, you know, just always divert. But look, thanks to Israel, if what really happened was true and Israeli protected Trump, you guys who are Israeli haters got to really kind of look at that, especially the Jews.
Exactly.
For
Well, listen, I got to run for the break, but I appreciate the call, IB. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back. All right, call is on hold. You stand by, okay? We'll be right back.
Love Sudoku? Then get ready for a whole new challenge with Sudoku's Revenge. With Sudoku's Revenge, play classic Sudoku your way. Compete against other players and climb the leaderboards in this exciting new app and tournament website. And the best part, Sudoku's Revenge is completely free to play. Earn gems as you play, then redeem them for fun prizes. Tournaments are launching as more players come online. And right now, there are always 2 tournaments available, with even more ready to unlock as the community grows. Become one of the first members of this growing community of puzzle fans. And go right now to Sudoku'sRevenge.com. That's Sudoku'sRevenge.com, where every puzzle is a chance for revenge. Sudoku'sRevenge.com.
All right, guys, now don't forget the huge mega sale is going on right now at mypillow.com with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, at mypillow.com. You can also order by phone. That's my number there, 800-716-4879. Huge sales on some of the top MyPillow products. And during the hot summer months, get those Giza Dream Sheets. They're 100% Giza cotton. And because of the finest cotton in the world, Mike Lindell's Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, they perfectly regulate your body temperature, even during these hot months. At night, when you're sleeping, it's like you've got AC in your bed. You're cool and comfortable, and then in the winter, you're warm and toasty. You're like Goldilocks with these things. And there's a huge discount, under $30, for the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. We got about a minute until we are back. I'll go back to the phones on this Open Mega Mike Friday. I've covered a lot, and I haven't gotten to all of my stuff. So make sure you guys catch me over the weekend and in the afternoons as well, guys. So if you're new, please subscribe. And if everyone could like the video, that would be great too. When you guys like the video, it gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found my channel. Okay, guys? So please like the video too. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Donald John Trump International Airport this weekend. I'm not sure if I'm going to go today or tomorrow, but I'm going to go. I'm going to make a vlog for the channel, so you guys will get to come along with me in the form of a vlog. I was going to go this morning, but there'll be a lot of rush hour traffic between here and there. All right, we got about 20 seconds. We'll be back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Jessica from West Palm, Brian. How you doing?
Oh, hey, Jessica.
Happy
Oh,
Friday.
you're good. You two are very close to Donald John Trump International Airport.
I am, and I'm so proud, and I'm so happy to see that sign. I was waiting for it.
Oh, me too. I can't wait.
I am extremely happy. You know what makes me happy? Seeing liberals head. You know what? I don't even want to.
I was watching.
Especially on social media, they're going crazy.
I was watching the local news. I think it was WPBF, you know, in West Palm, and they had a guy interviewing people at the airport, and a lot of people like it, but they interviewed this one old lady. Oh, there's a lot of people in West Palm. Why after him? There's others. They should name it after someone else. Goodbye. Get out of here. Fly out of Fort Lauderdale, lady. Okay.
Yeah, go fly with the rest of the people in Fort Lauderdale.
You know, yeah.
You cannot afford to fly off West Palm.
You know, I usually fly out of. I'm in the middle of both airports. I usually fly out of Fort Lauderdale because DJT is usually more expensive to fly out of. But when they haven't changed the luggage tags yet. That's coming next month. When they get the luggage tags. Sometime over the summer, I'm going to fly to DC, just a round trip. I'm going to go because think about this. You go from, if you fly to DC, you go from Donald John Trump International Airport to Ronald Reagan International Airport, right?
That sounds, oh my God.
Isn't that super cool?
That sounds awesome.
It does.
Beautiful.
It does.
You know what I was waiting? You know what I'm still waiting for, Brian? That Southern Boulevard changes finally and officially to Donald J. Trump
Have you seen the signs on the road yet? Have they changed the signs?
Well, I have seen the small signs, but not off the highway.
No, I haven't seen.
I-95.
They did change. I usually take the turnpike when I head up that way. So, but I'm going to take 95 a lot more now. But they changed the sign on 95 to Donald John Trump International Airport. But does it still say Southern Boulevard, or did they change it to Donald?
It says Southern Boulevard.
It's not Southern Boulevard anymore. It's Donald John Trump Boulevard. It has been for like a year.
Yes. It's been like a year, but they still haven't changed officially all the signs. So I'm waiting for that to happen so I can see liberals have a really bad time. You know, I get so happy when I see liberals' head explode. You have no idea.
Well, the Democrats, I don't know if it's still there. The Democrats put this anti-Trump billboard up by the airport,
I saw that.
and so that the president,
I saw that.
they think that the president has to look at it every time he comes and goes home from the airport. You know, he's probably laughing. How many? They've had that billboard up there for 10 years. How much money have they spent on that thing for 10 years wasting it?
I have no idea, but you know what they did this weekend? They also put a sign over a bridge. I can't remember over what bridge, but here in Wisconsin that says "Vote Blue." America, vote blue. I'm like, oh my God, nobody's going to vote blue, you crazy people.
No way.
Oh my God.
No way. Yeah,
No,
well,
yeah,
that's
they
exciting.
had a sign this weekend.
Well, I'm looking here. It says, okay, I'm looking at the, I haven't been up there yet. So if anybody's up there, since they've changed the signs, I'm looking at 95. It's, they're showing the Belvedere Road exit. It says Belvedere Road, President Donald J. Trump International Airport. I'm not seeing the Southern Boulevard exit. So if anybody, I just see the Southern Boulevard exit. I'm looking at that one. No, it's still Belvedere. They're not sure. So I don't know if they've changed the Southern Boulevard sign on 95 or not. That's a good question.
No, they haven't. I just drove by there. They
Really?
have not yet. But you know what, Brian? I just wanted to say that there's no one more deserving than Donald Trump to have this airport named after him.
Oh, yeah.
No one more deserving. You know why? You know why? I mean, I wasn't born here, but I moved to Palm Beach County in 1995. And Donald Trump in West Palm Beach was a crime-rotten
It sure was.
place.
It sure was.
The airport was not what it is today.
No.
And what did he do? What did he do? He brought in investments. He brought in ideas. He brought in people to say, hey, why don't you invest here? Why don't you do something with the airport and make it look nicer? He did that. He did that. I read it back in 1996, or I don't know, I think it was a Palm Beach newspaper. He did that. Donald Trump did it. So there's nobody else more deserving than him than to have that airport named after him.
Oh yeah, and I mean, think about what he's done to the property values, and you know, anytime I'm up there around Mar-a-Lago, I'm always running into tourists, and they're always coming up there, and those are areas tourists would not normally go to, and sometimes if I bump into them, I'll tell them some places to go, up to Worth Avenue and stuff like that, or I'll tell them where the church is, where Trump and Melania got married. I'll tell them how to get there and stuff like that.
It's a beautiful area.
Oh yeah, it's a great church. But there are so many tourists that go to Palm Beach just to. Sometimes they're in Miami on vacation and they come up to Palm Beach just to see Mar-a-Lago.
People come from Miami, I see it on social media where they are advertising the area.
And it's also international people. I've seen people from other countries. They're visiting Florida on vacation, and and it used to. If they went there for the Biltmore. Now they go there for Mar-a-Lago.
Absolutely. No, like I said, Brian, I'm very happy to see his name there. I mean, when I moved to West Palm, I saw what Clematis used to be. I saw what a City Place used to be, Rosemary Square. It wasn't like what it is today. It was filled with homeless. You couldn't even drive.
City Place is I went to City Place a couple weeks ago. Oh my goodness, it looks like a bomb went off. They tore down. They tore almost all of it down. The movie I couldn't believe how much they tore down over there.
Yeah,
it's a big construction
beautiful
zone.
area.
It is.
They're turning it into a. Yeah, but I gotta go.
All right, well, I appreciate the call. All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, Paul from Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Hey, Paul, what's up?
Hey, you were talking about that cracker girl, whatever it is, from Texas, the racist girl, the young black American
Jasmine
girl.
Crockett.
Hey, all right. So I was watching CNN and MSNBC, and I want to say a large amount of the blacks in this country call this country black and racist. They call it racist, the president racist, country racist, and they're up in arms because the Haitians are going to be sent back to Haiti. I think they should be celebrating that they're leaving a racist country.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Why would they want?
That's the
Yeah, it
point.
makes a good point. Why would they want them in this
Right.
racist nation?
Right. That's what I don't understand. That's why I called you to see if you had the answer, because I'm lost. If this is such a racist country, they should be celebrating that they're leaving this racist country.
Well, this is the thing. What Jasmine Crockett is attempting to do is make a living off being a race pimp now, right? The last thing she wants to do is, because she's out of Congress, is go get a job like practicing law. She doesn't want to do that. She wants to be a professional race baiter. Yeah.
She's the next Jesse Jackson. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. You see, that's why I called you, because you have the answer.
Jessica
that's why
Jackson.
I didn't understand. I didn't understand why they're not celebrating that they're leaving the racist country. If I was black and I really deep in my heart thought this was a racist country, and I'm getting my ticket to go back to my country, I'll be celebrating.
It blows my mind because the Dominican Republic and Haiti are on the same island, and I've been to the Dominican Republic on our MAGA cruises, and when we go to the Dominican Republic, we go to we'll go on shore excursions to beautiful resorts that look like you're in Maui, right? But Dominican Republic, when you're outside of the resorts, is really poor. I mean, it's really poor. It's really, it's really bad. And they always tell me, oh, you should see Haiti. This is like modern and it's great and it's beautiful. When I look at what the Dominican Republic is like in the regular streets, I think, well, if this is paradise, what's it like over there, right? Haiti is an anarchy. That's all it is. And I don't blame the people for not wanting to live there, but you just can't come here. And I'll tell you another thing. This thing they talk about with they gave them driver's licenses when they have no experience driving. And I see this in Miami sometimes. You'll see some of the immigrants that shouldn't have driver's licenses. Not only do they not know how to drive, they don't know the basic rules of the road, and it gets very scary out there. It does. All right. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call.
Have a great weekend.
You made a good point. Now, I got a question for you guys. It came out, Graham Plattner, they say on Monday, is going to officially say he's out, right? He suspended his campaign yesterday. I don't know. But this is my question to you guys. And if anybody has an answer to this, please let me know the answer. This woman said that she was raped by Graham Plattner. That was 6 years ago, right? Why is he not being arrested? Have you wondered that? Why is he not being arrested? They put Bill Cosby, they picked him up on 50-year-old claims. Harvey Weinstein, some of those went way back too. This is just 6 years ago. Why is he a free man? I want to talk about life imaging. Listen, when you think about all the people you've known throughout your entire life that have had a heart attack, whether those who have died and those who have survived, but I only know 1 or 2 people that did not die from heart attacks. But everyone that you know in your entire lifetime that had a heart attack, was it ever a heart attack that they were expecting? Because when I think about it, every single person I've ever known in my life who's had a heart attack, everyone said, I can't believe it. He was going to the gym 3 days a week. He golfed every Saturday all day, in the middle of the day, not the cheap tea times, in the middle of the day. He was out in the sun golfing every Saturday. I've never known a single person that had a heart attack in my circle of friends or family, and they said, oh, we knew that was coming. No. They're unexpected. And that's where life imaging comes in. They're all about proactive health. They have locations in Palm Beach County, Broward County, Dade County, and Orlando. When you're over there, please ask about their cancer screening. I've had both the heart scan and the cancer screening. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan right now with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell phone, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan and you will be connected in seconds. All right, we're going to take our last break of this Friday. Come back with the Gold Report. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, please do. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones. You can call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. The number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. That's a good question, right? It was 6 years ago. Why is he not being charged, investigated, arrested? Oh, good question. All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with our final gold and precious metals report of the week. William Youngerman, how the metals looking?
The metals looking pretty much stable. Nice gains yesterday, giving back part of those gains today, but the markets continue to trade in the summer doldrums, you might call it, sideways, giving us a nice time of accumulating the precious metals. Taking in positions that, on every dip, buying a little bit more and averaging in. But these are certainly great levels to be buying. Gold yesterday closing up $47.50 at $4,122.50. The high being $41.39 yesterday. Silver was up $1.70, closing out the day at $59.83. Platinum was up $30 at $1,609, and palladium was up $31 at $1,230. This morning we've seen gold trade in a range of $4,094 on the low to $4,135 on the high, and right now we're at $4,097. That's back down $25.50. As I said, about half of yesterday's gain. Silver down 44 cents. At $59.40, platinum up $1 at $1,610, and palladium up $21 at $1,251. So again, good time to be accumulating the metals during this quiet summertime.
Oh yeah, this is the time when regular metal buyers, this is when they really start loading up when prices are like this. You also do a lot of business with people that are into collectibles, with collectible coins and paper money. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you help people that are into the collection of coins and paper money?
Yeah, for 60 years now, we've been building wonderful collections for collectors of rare coins, precious metals, and of course paper money. Our currency museum, William, at hometown.currency.org, highlights some of the greatest and the most complete collection of Florida currency ever assembled by us. That being said, we've built many wonderful collections of rare paper money, currency, and gold coins of the world, United States gold coins, pre-33 coinage from all over the world.
Yeah.
Wonderful values right now. So, a great time to build a meaningful collection of coins that you'll enjoy owning, and also your heirs will enjoy inheriting.
Yeah, and some of the things you do for collectors is, when people are looking for specific things for their collection, you get that for them. But you also make sure they're paying the right price. it can get pretty dangerous when people
Absolutely.
try to go out on their own, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Just because somebody says a coin's rare doesn't mean it's
Rare.
worth the money they're touting it for. The television is full of
Or even rare.
these kind of things that they're touting that are just modern coins that have been hyped up to
Exactly.
sell, and then they go right back down. That's not what we call rare coin investments. We like things that have some longevity, age to them, and some good history.
That's
to
right.
Their values
That's
over
right.
the long term.
Well, listen, call William Youngerman. He opens up at 10 a.m. His number is toll free, 800-327-5010, 800-327-5010, or stop in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road, on the first floor of that Bank of America building there, not too far from Meisner Park. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk on Monday.
Okay, have a great weekend.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care, take care. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Gary from Jupiter.
Hey, Jupiter.
Just an FYI, I was driving from Jupiter down to Miami on 95, and the first sign is 9 miles from the airport says Donald J. Trump International.
9 miles. They have the signs that far. Oh, that's exciting.
It's a mile north of Lake Worth.
Okay.
North Lake Boulevard.
Lake Worth. Okay, that's awesome.
And I just passed Okeechobee. I'm here right now, and the sign at Okeechobee also says Donald J. Trump International, mile and a half.
Awesome.
But I was here Sunday.
Oh, we're getting interference. Yeah, go ahead. When you were here Sunday, it still said Palm Beach?
Yeah, and I'm what, half mile from it, and I can tell you, but on Sunday morning, the sign still said PBI.
Yeah, well, they're changing that. And next month, when they get the luggage tags, I'll be really excited. But, Southern Boulevard is now Donald John Trump Boulevard, and I'm hoping they change the signs with the airport signs.
So, yeah, but the signs are up. Like I said, they're 9 miles back going south.
That's let me tell you something. That's gonna be a big boom for that airport. The Palm Beach. By the way, I got a bad connection. I got to let you go, but I appreciate the man on the streets reporting there. I like the former Palm Beach Airport is Donald John Trump International. For those that don't know, the airport in Palm Beach where President Trump lands to go to Mar-a-Lago was just renamed Donald John Trump International Airport. That is one of the best airports to fly in and out of anywhere in the country. And I've been flying out of that airport since I was a little kid in the 70s. And I remember flying into that airport when you didn't even park at the terminal. You had to come down the steps on the side of the plane out on the runway tarmac. They don't do that anymore probably. But the airport, the Donald John Trump International Airport, is like out of the 80s. It's not all built up yet, like Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale used to be the same thing, a little hometown airport, so easy in and out. In these airports, they get so big, like Miami. I'll pay more to fly out of someplace before I go out of Miami. You only fly out of Miami if you have no choice, And this is going to be a big boom for Palm Beach, because what's happening here is we're building up what they used to have with the Kennedys. The Kennedy compound is gone. It's been torn down and it's not there anymore. But I remember before they tore it down, it was a big tourist spot, right? You would take they have this really cool thing in Palm Beach called the Duck Tour. And it's a boat, but it's also a tour bus. So it's kind of like a tour bus that takes you around Palm Beach, and then it takes you into the water, and you go through the Intercoastal Waterway, and it used to take you by the Kennedy compound. But now there's an entire tourist whole mecca in Palm Beach, all because of President Trump. People want to see Mar-a-Lago. They want to fly in and out of Palm Beach International Airport. And if they keep and this is an interesting thing, because if they are going to keep the Donald Trump Presidential Library in Miami next to the Freedom Tower, which I would rather it be in Palm Beach County, but that's where they say they're going to put it. If you take the Bright Line from Palm Beach, which is right down the street from Donald Trump International Airport, right down the street from Mar-a-Lago, if you take the Bright Line, if it doesn't go bankrupt and they get rid of it, but if you take the Bright Line to Miami, which is a nice ride. I've taken that ride several times on the Bright Line. I like the Bright Line. It's just, it's not doing well financially. And plus it runs people over all the time and kills them. So, but the Bright Line, if you take it from Palm Beach to Miami, the Donald John Trump Presidential Museum is just a couple of blocks from the Bright Line station. You can walk there in 5 minutes from the Bright Line station in Miami. So, Donald Trump's legacy in Florida is really cemented in South Florida with the airport, with Mar-a-Lago. They got to put the church where Trump and Melania got married. That's pretty cool. And then the Presidential Library, if it's down at Bayside in Miami next to the Freedom Tower in that location, people will travel from all over the world to come to South Florida and experience all of these things. They'll fly into Palm Beach just to fly into the airport that's named after President Trump. And it's going to be such an economic boom for the community, and a boom with good people that we want, right? Conservatives, right? The people that don't cause problems. Before we go, I do want to tell everybody about Dr. Gupta and Brighton Dental. Dr. Gupta and Brighton Dental have been with the Steve Kane Show for many, many years. And he's not only is he the official dentist of the Steve Kane Show, he's the official dentist of many people in this audience because he's been with us for so many years. And there's people in this audience that started seeing Dr. Gupta when they were children, and now they're taking their children to Dr. Gupta. And you hear Steve talk about how he's a family dentist with an old-fashioned dental practice where he really cares about his patients. He calls, he checks up on you, makes sure you're okay and all of that. But also his prices are old-fashioned. His prices are from another time. His prices are very, very affordable. So if you skip dental work because you're afraid of the pain of the price, you're not going to experience that with Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. And there's another thing, too, with Dr. Gupta. He does incredible work. He cares about his patients. He holds your hand through the procedure. His prices are from another time. But I was telling Steve yesterday, a lot, we were talking about Miami and Palm Beach. A lot of these dental practices around, they think everybody's rich. Even rich people don't want to spend too much on such things. But you go to these dentists, and they got you in there to upsell you into a bunch of things that maybe you need, maybe you don't need, you probably don't need. You go in there for a simple toothache, and next thing you know, they've racked up this massive thing that they tell you need, or all these... You're not going to find that with Dr. Gupta, okay? Give him a call. He's a dentist you can trust. He's a family dentist. He does incredible work, and his prices are family-friendly, too. All right, here's his number, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. For Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental, make sure you tell him you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show. Okay, so we're winding down towards the end, and I want to recap this because this is very, very important for all the anti-Semites out there. Israel saved the life of President Trump this week. There was an Iranian plot to assassinate President Trump at the NATO conference. The Israelis found out about it and alerted the president. And that's why he flew on the different Air Force Ones and all that went on. So Israel saved our president's life. This is the third confirmed assassination attempt on President Trump by Iran. So those of you that are opposed to this military action, if this is not an act of war again, what is to you, right? And the scary thing with the liberals, you know what the liberals will tell themselves? Well, we killed their supreme leader. Well, it doesn't work that way. Our leader is, he's not a terrorist like the Ayatollah Khomeini was. But that's how they view it. And the news coverage on every assassination attempt on the president, it gets you learn nothing about it. And this one's going to be the same thing. They don't want to give Israel credit. They don't want to villainize Iran. And they don't want to make President Trump sympathetic either. So their coverage of this assassination attempt by the Iranians that was foiled thanks to the Israelis, they're going to disappear that from the news before the middle of the day if they can, if they've not already done it. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show. We'll see you Monday morning at 6 a.m. Till then, take care. All right, guys, I'm going to take off now. Before you go, make sure you like the video. If you've not done so already, please like the video. When you like the video, it gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. And you will see me in the afternoon and throughout the weekend. So if you're new to the program, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Click that notification bell. And I'll see you guys this afternoon and